Head coach Billy Koss doesn't remember the 2024 season by its success. He doesn't remember the 8 wins. He remembers the final 75 minutes when Stony Brook fell out of a playoff spot, leaving him and his team on the outside looking in. But they are back for redemption and to try and claim a playoff spot that eluded them last year. That all starts right now with the football home opener against Rhode Island. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the radio booth here at Kenneth P. Laval Stadium. My name is Kevin Broderick, joined by the glamorous George Caratzas, and, of course, Matt Mankiewicz is holding down the studio. You are listening to WUSB 90.1 FM, the longtime home for your Stony Brook sports, of course, live on YouTube right now, and hopefully simulcasted over to the radio. This weather delay has put a big kerfuffle on everything, George, and speaking of the weather delay, you've been very patient and waiting for this question, a question that I've been talking a little bit about now. The Statesman, they got the quote, "We were 75 minutes away. We didn't get it done," from Billy Kosh. For those at home who don't remember what those 75 minutes were, can you elaborate on that?
Well, you mentioned the patience. I should have a good answer to this. I've been given about 2.5 hours to mull it over.
It's all good.
But those last 75 minutes, Stony Brook last year, or let's go back 2 years, 0-10 season under Chuck Prior in his last season, ends up getting fired. Billy Kosh starts his Stony Brook tenure at 8-2. Then they're up 31-10 on New Hampshire in the fourth quarter. They blow that game. They lose to Monmouth. Those last 60 minutes plus a quarter is what kept them out of a playoff last year in Kosh's first season. Now in year 2 under Billy Kosh, they've got a chance for redemption. And when you look at Rhode Island is arguably the best FCS team on Stony Brook's schedule this year. They get them at home. They get them with the adrenaline of the home opener. And they had about 2.5 hours to sit and wait for this one. So if they're going to win a game and really make a statement, this is how you do it. Rain, obviously, a factor. We hope no more lightning will be a factor.
I got my fingers crossed.
Oh, we're just praying up here. It's been 20 minutes go on the clock, and boom, we get another strike.
Yep.
So,
still a surprising amount of fans that showed up here. I'm assuming a decent amount of this is the family of the players always wanting to see them play in their home opener. George, I got to ask you another question before we fully get into this, because we don't actually fully know when this game is going to start. We just know it's going to be fairly soon, and that there is a hurry-up tempo to get this game underway. So, George, lightning round for the questions. What can Stony Brook take away from last year's failure in those 75 minutes?
Well, I think we've been talking about Billy Kosh's kind of identity as a coach a lot. And we talk about how he doesn't take anything for granted. What is given to him is what Stony Brook deserves. And he's pretty honest. He thinks they did not do what was needed to be a playoff team last year. And he has been very clear that changes need to be made to win those games and come out on as a playoff team. 8 wins is not good enough for him. He made that very clear. The biggest turnaround in Division I football, that's not good enough for him. It's about making the playoffs. It's about making noise on the national FCS level, and that starts right now because, frankly put, you can't be intimidated by the number 8-9 team, because if you have plans of making noise at the national level, you're going to have to do a lot better than number 8 and 9. You're going to have to knock off some 1s, knock off some 2s. So this is just the start of it, he hopes.
Ultimately, George, we talk a lot about the hierarchy of FCS football. Of course, the Missouri Valley Conference and the Big Sky, those are 2 other conferences that are right up there with the CAA. Right now, the Missouri Valley is absolutely the cream of the crop. I mean, they have North Dakota State University and South Dakota State University, who's been going back and forth on national championships for the better part of the last decade, a little bit before that as well. But the CAA is definitely still a conference that can mix it up in the top 10, that can get a national championship win like the James Madison Dukes proved, I believe, about 7 years ago. So I think that is where Billy Kosh imagines his program to be. And we're going to get into kickoff starting right now. It's going to be the Rams going right to left, sending it over to the Seawolves.
7 minutes early.
Yeah, who have two back towards the end zone. And I'm crossing my fingers right now, George. No lightning on this kick. let's get this game rolling after about a 2-hour storm delay. Rhode Island will send it high and far. That is Garth White on the kickoff. We'll go back to about the 1-yard line. Stony Brook will receive it there and bring it forward. Quickly tackled is Marquise Dietz. He got out to the 15-yard line, and that's how we'll start this matchup, this tumble between a previously ranked Stony Brook. They did obviously fall out after that loss to SDSU, and, well, Rhode Island moved up a little bit with their win against Campbell.
Yeah, and right off the rip, you're seeing Marquise Dietz. That's a new face. Well, sort of a new face.
Sort of a new face.
We've been seeing him the last few years, obviously, with Albany. Now transfers over to Stony Brook, takes that opening kickoff.
Roland Dempster in the backfield. Of course, the quarterback is Chris Zellis. That's going to be a big storyline. Zellis takes it. It's a designed run play for him. He runs up the gut for about 5 yards before he's tackled by a swarm of Rams. So a nice first down right there. Winning the first down, it's important, George.
And a few fireworks there after the play as a couple guys took shots at each other.
Stack of 4 receivers over to the right. Dietz in motion to the left. Zellis takes another step, quickly pressured. He swings out to the left, going to run for it again and has a first down. All right, Chris Zellis, 2 for 2 on his runs right now. Not getting stopped up by this Rhode Island defensive line. And, of course, a man we need to mention, number 8, A.J. Pena. An All-American FCS player. Zellis on another snap. This time hands it off to Dempster. He goes right up the gut as well and gains 5. This Stony Brook offense running on the ground right now. And, well, hey, George, this is a famous one. If your team is averaging 8 yards per carry, why would you throw the football?
Well, the old cliche in football is when you have weather, you're going to keep the ball on the ground. So that's what Stony Brook is doing right here.
Another handoff to Dempster. He's fading off to his right, trying to get to the sideline. Looks like he'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage, and he is. Good play ranging out to the flat for the Rams. That was Trey Lubin on the tackle.
Picked up 4, so 1 yard to go here on third down.
3rd and 1 from their own 35. Zellis puts some men in motion. Dietz fakes left, then goes back to the right. We have 3 receivers on the near side. Zealous claps for it. Handoff Dempster. He goes right up the gut again. Bonici helping push him forward. And the Seawolves have a first down, but the ball is loose. Ball is loose on the ground. Is it still live? Both teams obviously pointing either side. A.J. Pena is going over to his guys and getting them hyped up. Still no call from the referees, and it's over for the Rams. So the first turnover of the game, and obviously we have some weather to help it out. Billy Kosh is a little bit ignited on the sideline. He believes that the runner Dempster was down before the ball came out. Now there is a possibility for challenges obviously at the FCS level. I don't think we're going to get one. So the Seawolves defense will come out in an unideal position. And let's see what this offense can do against the Stony Brook defense. Of course, I'm talking about the Rams right now. Their quarterback, number 7, Devin Farrell, has a couple of different weapons. I'm looking mostly at Marquise, not Marquise, Buchanan, as well as Greg Gaines. Those 2 wide receivers, elite wide receivers. Buchanan, another All-American at the FCS level.
And are we getting a review here, a timeout?
Well,
both teams have now gone to the sidelines.
The referees are coming over. An official review was sponsored by Stony Brook Ophthalmology.
So for the first time this year, you're going to get to hear me complain about how we don't get to see the replay on the video board. So we're guessing the way you are at home.
Yes. Now, George, if you weren't watching the Mets, you could pull it up on Flow. And
let's see if I even have my logins.
All right. So while George gets that underway, Chris Zellis, the starting quarterback here against Rhode Island, well, he was going well for those first 2 runs, and then it was a handoff to Dempster, followed by another handoff to Dempster, and an un-Dempster-like play, fumbling it. At least that's how it stands right now. Referees still over on the near sideline. They have their little screen. This looks like it's going to be a quick decision. Not a good sign for Billy Kosh. Usually quick decisions tend to go to an uphold.
And it does stay with the Rams.
All right, so It will be Devin Farrell to start off his first drive. And this Stony Brook defense, George, it was hyped up in the Statesman for a reason. Let's see what they can do. Obviously, the linebacker core is what you have to be listening for. Farrell gets the snap. Quick handoff to Littleton Jr. He tries to pop it to the outside, but he's tackled for a minimal gain, about 1 yard on the play.
And right on cue, you see Anthony Farrelly right in the middle of that, as was Aiden Kaler. So of the 4 linebackers you hinted at, 2 of them already making an impact there.
So Farrell is known as a running quarterback by the Rhode Island community, but also does have an arm as of recent. He'll take another snap from the 40-yard line, getting pressured quickly, evading pressure out to the right, will run it himself and gets about 8 yards on the play. Ball is loose again, and this time Stony Brook takes it back. A.J. Roberts getting fired up with his guys this time, and these linebackers are trading forced fumbles.
Chase Chalmers looked like the one that fell on it. So we've already, in the first 10 minutes, we've gotten Kaler involved, Roberts, Farrelly, and Chalmers. So the 4 linebackers already showing that they could be an identity of this team.
And again, A.J. Roberts, another quote coming over from the Statesman. It was recovered, I believe, by Chase Chalmers.
Yes, that's what it looked like. He fell on top of it.
A.J. Roberts definitely was the guy to instantly run over, so he might have gotten the forced fumble on that. Obviously, 2 different statistics that you can track there. But this defense doing exactly what, well, I thought they were going to, and I'm sure what they thought they were going to as well.
And now are we getting a Rhode Island review?
Yeah, we should get another official review here. Again, I have a feeling that there's not going to be any evidence to overturn this.
Well, in the event that it does stand, already 10 minutes into play, you've seen 2 fumbles. How much the weather plays into that? Obviously, we won't know. We're not on the field.
Ball's a little slippier, at least I would imagine.
I'm looking out the window, and there's some pretty good rain coming down. So,
you know, and on top of that, you just got to think about the wetness. Just it finds a way to stay on the field. Obviously, the turf is going to continuously be wet. So if the ball hits the ground, it's going to get wet. If your hands touch the ground, they're going to get wet. And we do have the Stony Brook offense going back out onto the field. So erase these fumbles from either side. They essentially didn't happen.
Now, the officials are still looking at the video, so
looks like there's some personnel changes. Does that mean we haven't overruled?
It looks like it was overruled.
It was overruled.
I saw a down symbol, so 3rd down?
I'm not exactly sure how they were able to overcall one but not the other. Obviously, we don't have the angles here at home, so it is 1st down and 10. Ball on the 31 for the Rams. They're working right now. That's actually going to get updated. This should be 3rd down and 1 from the 32. So it's 3rd down and 1 from the 32-yard line. Devin Farrell in the backfield. He has Littleton Jr. off to his right, a receiver left and right. Takes the snap, hands it off. Littleton Jr. got stuffed initially. Where's the spot going to come out? Referees look like they're going to mark him just short. About to the 31-yard line. The 1st down is on the 30-yard line itself, so this will go to 4th down. Let's see just how aggressive the Rams want to be here.
Well, this is at no man's land where you're not in field goal range, but at the same time, it's tough to punt it without putting it in the end zone, so you might as well go for it.
Jim Fleming, the head coach for the Rams, looks like he wants to go for this. He's keeping his quarterback out on the field. Fleming in shotgun has Littleton Jr. to his right again. Going to send a man in motion, hands it off, going to keep it himself, sneaking forward and does get the 1st down. Took some very quick contact, but was able to absorb it and dive forward.
Yeah, one of those where you just get to the line of scrimmage and dive forward. Whether someone hits you or not, you still got to get across that line.
It was Camaro with the opportunity, but wasn't able to get his shoulder down just enough. So now we go 1st and 10 from the 28. Rams trying to knock on the end zone in their very first drive. Farrell Takes the snap, looking downfield, and throws it away on the near sideline.
And not to beat the dead horse early in this game, but we keep bringing up the rain. That throw was nowhere near his receiver.
No, Farrell did start off his game against Campbell with a couple of nice connections, both to Buchanan and to Gaines. That throw was nothing like the completions that started them hot against the Camels. So we go for the same thing. 2nd down and 10, ball on the 28. Farrell this time with Littleton Jr. off to his left, 3 receivers on the near side. Sends one in motion. Waiting for the snap, takes it, looking right, throwing right, has a man in the middle. That's about an 8-yard gain for Farrell on his 2nd attempt, and it's going to go to Gaines, one of the mans I was talking about. So it's 3rd down and a long one from the 21-yard line now. Ball might be more accurately spotted actually on the 20. So 3rd down and 1. Farrell once again in shotgun. Littleton Jr. off to his left. Looks like he'll hand it off. Does give it to him. He's tackled quickly, but might have just barely enough to get there. Referees once again marking him just short of the 1st down line.
Now slightly better field goal positioning, but still 4th and 1. You'd think they keep their offense on the field.
Well, it depends on how aggressive Jim Fleming wants to be. Couple of personnel changes for either side. Franco Milano, the big man, coming out to try to stop this. So Farrell only has 1 man on the near sideline. That's Buchanan. Farrell will take the snap. Littleton Jr. to his left. Littleton Jr. trying to go forward. He's instantly hit by Farrelly in the backfield, and it doesn't look like he has enough.
Farrelly seems to think he stopped him short.
And he did not make it to the line of scrimmage. That's a turnover on downs. Anthony Farrelly doing his job to shut down the run game. Puts up his finger wagging, no, not in his house, not in his den.
I like that one. Let's keep that one going, Kevin. Well, now that we have a little break in the action, I'll say this. We talked all last year about the identity of this team being Roland Dempster. And the offense is obviously still going to run through Roland Dempster. But without the passing attack, without Tyler Knopp in the fold, it's going to be a much more defensive-oriented team, and that starts with those linebackers. We saw Farrelly already making some big plays.
So it's 1st and down from the Stony Brook 20-yard line. Zealous is going to take this quick for a carry off to the left, picks up about 2. It's 9:39 left to play in the 1st quarter. Game is still at 0-0.
And we still have only seen the ball leave the quarterback's hand twice.
2nd down and 7 now, ball on the 23. Zealous looking to the flat, has Dietz for a connection. Quick stutter step, spins around a 2nd, but minimal gain on both of those moves. I would call it about 2. It's going to be 3rd and 6 coming up.
So even going back to last week, we really have not seen Zealous, obviously, is more of a mobile quarterback than he is through the air, but we really have not seen him test the sticks, go downfield, and make a big play.
So 3rd down and 7, ball on the 22 of Stony Brook. Zealous ranging out. A flag is down. A completion to the far sideline. Did he get it? No. The flag in the backfield, though, I do believe is going to be a false start on the Rams. So Zealous was taking a quick free play opportunity and heaving it. The referees will go and gather together. False start will go against Rhode Island, so that's a big mistake right there. So the offsides with 8:50 left in the 1st will not push the sticks forward, but it's a more manageable 3rd down conversion now. 3rd down and 3, ball on the 27-yard line.
Watch Dempster.
Dempster to the left. Zealous in shotgun, has 2 receivers on the right and 1 to the left. Dempster moving around in the backfield, does get the handoff. Dempster down in the gut. Dempster with room, out to the 40, 35, make it 30. Dempster finally getting tackled all the way at the 20-yard line. A big rush for Roland Dempster, and the Seawolves are in striking distance now.
Well, I don't know what went wrong with the Rhode Island defense there, but it seemed like once he got past the line of scrimmage, there was nobody in the middle of the field.
Stony Brook going quickly. Zealous will take the snap himself from the 20, carrying it all the way down to the 5-yard line with some acrobatic moves. The Seawolves in the red zone now. 8:12 to play in the first quarter. Game still at 0. Seawolves still playing with some momentum. Zealous with 3 receivers out to his left and Dempster to his left. Handoff will go to Dempster. Gets to about the 4-yard line, I want to call it, before he's leveled by a sea of white jerseys.
So Dempster picking up 54 on that run, another 13 for Zealous. So we talk about the running game already making a big impact here.
2nd down and 4. Ball is on the 4-yard line. Dempster is in the backfield. 3 receivers over to the right. It's Des Williams, R.J. Lamar, as well as Marquise Dietz. Zealous sending his men in motion. Benici is also in on the play as an eligible receiver. Zealous looking for the ball. 9 seconds on the clock. Gives it off to Dempster. Almost looked like he had a gut to run through. Instead, it's another small gain as the Seawolves inch closer to the end zone.
Who's 92 on the defense. Looks like he basically brought Dempster down by basically his ankle. Didn't look to have much of a hold on number 4 on Stony Brook.
So it's 3rd down, pretty much the same spot. 3rd down and 4, ball on the 4-yard line. Zealous in the red zone. Billy Kosh screaming some commands from the sideline. Has Dietz on the right, Des Williams on the left. Zealous takes the handoff, gives it over to Dempster. He's trying to run up the gut again, but this Rams defensive line once again pulls him down.
And now let's see how aggressive Billy Kosh is on his end of the field.
Billy Kosh, well, the answer, not going to be that aggressive. He's not going to make the same mistake as Jim Fleming. He's going to settle for the field goal. So for the first time this year, we see Enda Kirby out onto the field.
Kirby, I believe, was selected to the CAA preseason team for special teams.
He was, as the kicker. So Kirby with an easy 15-yard ahead of him. The kick is up and good. Stony Brook lead this game by 3 against the top 10 rated opponent in the Rhode Island Rams.
And for what it's worth, Stony Brook cracking the scoreboard for the first time this year. Took them 69 minutes?
Something around that. I'll go with
68 minutes?
I'll go with that.
9 minutes into this game, 69, I guess. Obviously shut out last weekend.
Yep. So that entire sequence, George, really comes down, and I'm talking about from the kickoff of the game, really comes down to 2 Dempster plays.
One that he coughed up.
One that he coughed up.
One that he changed the entire drive.
And exactly. So Dempster.
8 plays, 78-yard drive.
I'm really expecting him to be more like the 55-yard run Dempster than the coughing the ball up, because he, to my entire memory, last year barely fumbled the football.
Maybe twice?
Maybe twice. It was very, very limited. Probably one of the most underrated aspects of Roland Dempster's game is his ability to hold on to the football and not cough it up. That was something that Billy Kosh also talked about being a staple of the offense in general for the Seawolves, is not giving away the football. Now, obviously, they have a defense they can rely on if they do give it away, which was proof by the just trio of plays made by the Stony Brook linebacker group, including one fumble that ended up not being a fumble.
And it really starts with Anthony Farelli.
It does.
Anthony Farelli is a redshirt junior, has basically gotten better every year he's played.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Farelli, when I started looking at this team all the way back to the end of last season, I was like, all right, who is the most important players to keep? And my short list of 3 players: Rashawn Lawrence, Roland Dempster, Anthony Farelli. Now, A.J. Roberts is very quickly on there as well. Chase Chalmers is very quickly on there. But that was my top 3. And, well, Billy Kosh returned 2 of those 3 players. Obviously, Rashawn Lawrence no longer with the team. He's over in Minnesota. Actually getting a decent amount of playing time as well. Made his first couple of FBS tackles in his season debut.
So Farelli, 2 years ago on the 0-10 team, was solid. Nothing special. Last year, good breakout year. This year, the the jury's out on him.
Jury is out. Rhode Island looking to return it from the end zone. Ball is loose once more, and Stony Brook get it back. Special teams coming through for the turnover. Billy Kosh may be more amped than all of his players on the sideline. It's high fives all around.
Just a wild play. It looked like first contact kind of tripped him up. Then as the return man was tripping, the ball just came out. It scooted past one of the other special teamers on Rhode Island that had an opportunity to recover it, and then recovered by, forced by Aiden Kaler, recovered, well, we don't know who.
Recovered by the team is what they have it listed officially. So talk
Ka-
about linebackers.
Kaler's forced a fumble.
Kaler's forced a fumble.
Forelli stopped a 4th and 1.
But, George, we got to go right now. Ball at 29, first and 10 for the Seawolves. They're cooking again. Zealous in shotgun, has Dempster there with him. Will fake a throw instead, gives it to Dempster, and he'll run through the middle for about 3 yards.
72 yards. Well, before coming into that play, 72 yards, 7 carries. They're going to give him nothing on that play. So 8 carries, 72 yards. Obviously, much of that carried by the one big play.
Ball on the 27. It's second down and 8. Zealous in shotgun once more. Continues to feed the beast. Dempster with a nice stutter step. He's up the middle for 5. Off to the left for 1 more yard. Make it 6 total. Should bring up a 3rd down and 2.
I mean, it really is incredible because we talked all the time last year about his ability after first contact.
We do have an injured Seawolf on the field. From where he is, that might be the left tackle, Allen, number 68. Allen, a player that I thought was going to be very important as I'm trying to spot who isn't in the huddle right in front of us. Allen, the left tackle, is from New Jersey, the redshirt sophomore. He lost 40 pounds in the offseason, George. But don't worry, he's still at 310 at a total of 6'5". Looking over there. No, it was not Allen.
Papik, Nico Papik. One of the 5 Stony Brook team captains entering the year.
Nico Papich also an all-CAA right tackle. So Papich coming over. He's under his own power right now, so that's a good sign for the big man. He's in his 6th year with the Seawolves. There's no question why he's the captain. His experience leading the way. It looks like he'll go over to the medical tent and be assessed on the sideline. Listen, if there's one thing that Stony Brook football has to have good, it's medical care. There's a hospital right behind us. So it's 3rd down and 4, ball on the 23. Zealous going to take it up the middle himself. Zealous all the way to the 15-yard line, diving forward to the 13, picks up a big first down, and gets his team once again not only into field goal range, but another chance to put this ball in for 6.
And the way he runs, it reminds you a lot of Josh Allen. Going head first, you get scared about ball security, but
1st and 10, ball on the 12. Dempster will get this. Trying to push a pile forward. I'm going to conservatively say he picked up 2 yards on the play. Not a lot of handoffs or Dempster going to the outside on either side. Papich still in the 10, so they're going to have to play this drive without him. 2nd down and 7. Ball on the 9-yard line. If they get out to the 2-yard line, they will get a first down, so that's an objective for Billy Kosh here. Zealous giving the commands, 2 receivers over to the near side, 1 to the far side. He has Dempster standing to his right. Puts 1 man in motion, gets the snap, looking to the flat, has a completion. How far does Dietz get? It's actually not Dietz. It's going to be Des Williams on the reception, picking up about 3.
First time we've called Williams' name today. Obviously, last year was one of 2 Williams wide receivers we had to worry about. Josiah no longer in the equation.
Josiah obviously graduating a transfer from Richmond. So this is going to bring up a 3rd down and 5. Ball on the 7-yard line. Zealous in shotgun right now. Dempster is to his right. He has trips to the left. Man in motion is Benici. Benici going to try to set a block. Dempster up the middle. Dempster on the 2-yard line, powering forward. I don't think he got it. He will be just shy at the 1-yard line, but does get a first down for the Seawolves.
Well, if he didn't get it, he was about as close as you can get.
This Rhode Island defense trying to stop their team from going down by 10 with 3:08 to play in the first quarter. It's first down and 1, ball on the 1. Snap for Zealous, and we're going to get a whistle before the play goes off. I believe a timeout taken by Rhode Island. Jim Fleming wants to talk this over with his troops.
So already we're 12 minutes into the FCS season for Stony Brook, and you're already seeing how they're going to live and die this season. It's going to be Roland Dempster. Already has carried the ball 11 times, 87 yards. Hasn't gotten into the end zone, but they're on the doorstep here. Chris Zealous, on the other hand, just 2 passing attempts. So, again, it's...
Should be 3 now. Well, actually, no, you're right, George. It would be 2 because the pass to the far sideline wouldn't have counted because of the offsides originally by Rhode Island.
Right,
but
right.
We've seen him throw it to now 3 times.
It is not going to be the aerial assault that you saw from Tyler Knopp or even Malachi Marshall. He wasn't going through the air that much, but certainly more comfortable throwing the football than we're seeing from Chris Zealous so far.
All right, a timeout can delay the inevitable, but this defense has to face a first down and 1, ball on the 1. Dempster gets the handoff. Of course, Dempster just gets in there. Referees will mark it as a touchdown. It's 6 more points on the board for Stony Brook. They're up 9-0 with an extra point attempt on the way.
And there's Roland Dempster doing what Roland Dempster does. Ran into a wall and still managed to put the ball over the end line.
So Enda Kirby comes back out. He has 3 points on the game, trying to make it 4. Snap is up, kick is away, and down the middle. Stony Brook lead this game 10-0 with 2:58 left in the first quarter. So to recap everything so far, if you just tuned in during this media timeout, Stony Brook initially elected to take the ball for the first drive. Roland Dempster was forced away with a fumble. Rhode Island's offense takes over. They drive down the field a little bit, convert 1 4th down, and then tried it again. Anthony Forelli shut it down the second time. Stony Brook quickly marched back the other way. The big highlight was Roland Dempster for about a 55-yard run. They get into field goal range, and Kirby kicks it through the uprights. On the next kickoff attempt, down the field, fumble by Rhode Island, Stony Brook right back in the driving seat. That time, they convert it for 7. That's how you get to 10-0, George.
Field position. It's a field position game. Stony Brook got the takeaway, the turnover on downs. Roland Dempster immediately put them in good field position. After you get the 3 spot, immediately you have your special teams winning. And that's something we saw them struggle with last year. Because outside of Enda Kirby, we saw the Villanova game, for example, one of the 4 Stony Brook losses. A lot of that loss can be chalked up to special teams, something they struggled with, gave away a couple kickoffs, had a punt blocked. So now you're seeing those small gaffes turn the other way, and that's something that I think Billy Kosh certainly stressed in the offseason, was cleaning up the little things, not making the mistakes that a good team doesn't make.
And I do want to point out the disparity in the head coaching category. And some people might be surprised about me saying that, considering Jim Fleming had a highly successful season last year. Well, you got to dig into the weeds a little bit right there. Jim Fleming was given a long leash to turn around this URI program. Didn't have a winning season until year 5. His best season last year was 11-3, which was the program record dating back to 1895, George. That's how long they've been around. So,
Stony Brook hasn't even existed for that long.
Exactly. So there's Fleming was given a long time to turn around the program. Had a couple of one-win seasons himself. Chuck Prior will tell you all about that. And
Chuck, baby.
And at the end of the day, he got it done. The question is can he replicate that success? Still has, to his credit, a lot of amazing players on the roster. Pena, most specifically, and then I'm also thinking of Buchanan. The kick-off for the Seawolves will go down the field once again, and the ball is this time fielded by Rhode Island. And I believe a fair catch was called at the 1-yard line, George.
Well, I'm sure you take that, even though you got to go 99 yards, you take that as a victory compared to how your last quote-unquote drive started.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't a drive for very quick. No, did get the touchback. That's why I was a little hesitant to say anything. So the ball.
So make it 75.
So the ball will come out to the 25-yard line, and a little bit better for Devin Farrell to take over. We've seen a lot of Littleton Jr. to start this game off. Littleton Jr. not the focal point of this offense at all. So Farrell, first down and 10, ball in his own 25-yard line. Sends Buchanan in motion from left to right. Has Littleton Jr. over to his left. Buchanan dropping back in the pocket, looking forward, has a completion for 12 yards. It was right in between the seams, and who else but Marquise Buchanan with his first reception of the game.
And that's the best throw we've seen from either quarterback so far.
So first down and 10, ball now on the Rhode Island 40-yard line. Devin Farrell, 2 left, 1 right. Littleton Jr. to his right in the backfield. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, now scrambling off to his right, heaving it downfield and out of bounds on the far side.
Another one now, that's the second one that really nowhere near a receiver. Just sailed on him way over the head of his man. Looked like Zero was the man closest. Or maybe that was Greg Danes, number 8.
I believe that was Gaines on the play. So we do it again from the 40-yard line, this time 2nd and 10. Littleton Jr. going to go out to the right side of the field as a receiver. So you have 5 receivers on this play, and a flag coming out. Should be an illegal formation on the Rams. And that's going to back them up 5 yards. George, that's funny because I spent a good amount of my season, my preseason I should say, studying the different formations that are and are not allowed. They had too many men on the line right there.
Well, I'm glad that the man in charge of bringing the audience football had to really study football.
I did my best.
This year too.
So ball on the 35-yard line for Rhode Island now, 2nd down and 15. Farrell dropping back, looking forward, has Buchanan again, does dive over the first down line. That's a gain of about 16 all the way into opposing territory.
And I think if you're Billy Kosh, you got to say that can't happen because Marquise Buchanan is their number 1 option, and he was completely untouched.
Might need to start looking to double team him at this point. The guy that I had slated for the matchup against Buchanan was Miles McGoey. He had 3 pass breakups against SDSU. So Farrell once again in the backfield. Littleton Jr. to his left, sends Buchanan in motion to the right. Buchanan is getting hovered right now, not in a double team. Farrell will take the snap, dropping back, looking forward, and almost intercepted over the middle. That was intended for Buchanan as well, but it was a risky pass. Bryson Parker was all over the play. He should get a pass breakup on that one.
And when I interviewed the 4 linebackers that I mentioned at the outset, I asked them all, I finished every interview with, who's a breakout player that you think might have a good year on the defense? 3 of the 4 said Bryson Parker.
Farrell with the snap. 2nd down and 10. It will be a handoff to Littleton Jr. He goes forward for about 6 yards and is tackled at, call it, the 44.
Well, something that comes with the limited throwing, what's the word?
Ability?
Not ability, because I'm not ragging on Farrell, but
potential of
they
the wet
have
game.
not thrown the ball as much as they've run the ball. There is not much of a presence in the backfield for the Stony Brook defense.
3rd and 5, ball on the 44. Farrell with 3 receivers out to his right, looking left right now, does throw the ball to the flat, and it's caught. Who else? Buchanan moves the chains once more with a 4-yard pickup.
Throw was a little low, caught it right above his knees, it looked like, and just one of those fingertip grabs with the football pointing down.
Might be what you have to do in this rainy weather. So Buchanan is on the far hashes right now. The ball is placed on the left hashes. Farrell in shotgun, has Littleton Jr. directly behind him. Fakes the handoff, takes a couple steps back, heaving it forward, has a man wide open, but the catch was not made by Buchanan. He had a couple of steps on his man, but the ball went through his fingertips. Check that. It was actually number 14, Quartang, on the potential reception.
He was wide open, and you can't blame the wideout on that one. That ball was thrown 2 feet over his head.
2nd down and 10 now. Ball on the 38-yard line. It's a 10-0 lead for the Seawolves. 37 ticks remain in the first quarter. Farrell in shotgun, has 2 receivers left. It's Gaines and Buchanan. Littleton Jr. is off to his right, and 2 receivers are to the far sideline. Farrell taking his time on this snap. 3 rushing for the Seawolves. Farrell with time over the middle, has a completion, actually dropped right in front of him. That's a tough drop to take for the Rams. And that was Littleton Jr. getting in front of the play.
That's probably the easiest completion they've had all day.
Running back dropped it.
It looked like he had it, and as he turned to make, you hear it all the time, make the football move, he lost it. So it doesn't go as a fumble, but he had possession at one point and just coughed it up right at the end.
It's 3rd and long. Ball on the 38 for the Seawolves. They're going to look like they will send the house on this play. Farrell has his man in man-to-man coverage. It's Buchanan down low on the near side. Takes the snap, dropping back, rolling over to his left, needs to fire it downfield, has a completion, but then the ball is knocked loose. Gaines does not get it, and that will be a 4th down and 10.
That was Camara. We mentioned him at the top, making a big play. Another one of these guys we haven't seen coming into Stony Brook now for the first time and making a play there on 3rd down to set up a punt.
So we have a 3rd down stop for the Seawolves, a 4th down stop for the Seawolves. They bent, but they did not break. So this punt is going to come out now for James Allen. He's at the 48-yard line of the Rams. Going to take a few steps forward, so punting it, trying to attempt for 50. Gets it down to the 5-yard line where Marquise Dietz will make a fair catch signal. So Chris Zealous will go back out starting from his own 5-yard line, 95 yards to drive. We got 18 seconds left on the first quarter clock. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's so late. The weather, I mean, everything's messed up, George. 10-0 Seawolves, that's something I know for sure.
To close the book on Camara, redshirt senior, first year at Stony Brook, he's actually played some rather competitive football. Started his career at Old Dominion. Last year was up at the University of Maine, obviously a CAA team. Now here at Stony Brook making a couple big plays.
Zealous with Dempster right next to him. Dempster will get the feed, gets 2, and then is spun around to the ground. So you'll go from the 5-yard line to the 7, looking at a 2nd down and 7 now. A lot of umbrellas out here at Kenneth P. Laval Stadium. Obviously, all these Seawolves fans coming prepared. I do also want to give a shout-out to the Rams contingent that is still here this late at night. I mean, what else are you
Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? I mean, I could recommend a few spots. I mean, personally, the bench isn't bad for after the game. I don't know.
As we learned the other night, things close early.
I don't know if you know this.
Friendlies closes early.
Friendlies closes at 11 now. I don't know what's going on. Roth Cafeteria, it's about a 20-minute walk from here somehow, and it's still on campus. You want Popeyes? Get there before 10:30. You can get Popeyes. Now, what I can guarantee you is that me and George and I, if I'm being grammatically correct, will be more than likely going to the hospital after this game, not because we're sick, but that's because the only food option available past 12 o'clock on Stony Brook campus.
Yeah, and I feel bad every time I text my parents, like, hey, I'm going to the hospital at 1 in the morning, because I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me.
You are okay.
I just happen to be a little bit hungry.
I mean,
so
I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing physically wrong with you.
There's nothing the ER will fix.
Yes, exactly. So we got 15 minutes left now on. You can't have anything more than 15 minutes for a quarter. The second quarter is about to start is what I'm saying. The reason we're talking so much is because we're in a quarter intermission. Normally we'd kick it over to Matt Mankiewicz, but due to the limited ability of YouTube, we're going to stay here.
He did offer the opportunity.
Well, he did offer the opportunity, but, you know, we got to work with what we have. Reason we're broadcasting on YouTube right now is obviously so we can present the full game in its entirety. Because of the scheduling on WUSB, we don't want to kick people off their shows just because, well, weather.
And if we look at it throughout the whole day, we were supposed to go on at 5:30.
Yeah.
And it is 9:18 p.m. and we've played 15 minutes.
Yeah, we were supposed to go on at 5:45 and end at 9:15. We were supposed to be done 3 minutes ago at its latest. So Chris
Still
Zealous,
a ways to go.
now operating a right to left. Sun is not a factor. It is very much sunset here in Stony Brook, New York. Zealous with one man in his backfield. It's Dempster. Handoff will carry his momentum to the right. Tackled for no gain, and it's who else but A.J. Pena in on the play.
Yeah, and again, really maybe 2 or 3 plays for Dempster that have broke loose for 10-plus yards, but otherwise, it's been a lot of those runs up the middle that have been stuffed. Obviously, the big one is the 55-yarder, but otherwise, a lot of that.
So Stony Brook, 3rd down and 8, ball on their own 7-yard line. Zealous will have trips out to the near sideline, one receiver to the far sideline, and it's, I believe, Shakai Carson in the backfield. Zealous will run this one himself, gains about 5 yards before he's put down to the dirt, and a flag will come out afterwards. Could we potentially get some unnecessary roughness on the Rams? That would be another costly mistake. We're waiting. Billy Kosh signaling over to his sideline.
Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Don't come after us.
So it will be a penalty. Now, personal foul after the play. That is a big one. I don't know how much you can hear the PA over the radio. We do our best.
Well, you could hear someone on the field.
You could. You could.
Apologies.
Apologies.
We try our best.
1st down and 10, ball on Stony Brook's 26. Zealous in shotgun right now, Dempster to his left. This is a designed run for Zealous. He stutter steps around a couple of players and tackled after a gain of 5 yards.
And it really does terrify you every time that the quarterback runs with the football. He is going head first into a wall with the football slippery, exposed, and yet holds on to it so far every time.
2nd down and 5, ball on the 31. Zealous will send a man in motion. It's Benici. Benici now over the middle for a reception. He's at the 50, make it 45-30. Benici is in a foot race right now, tackled all the way at the 20-yard line. Big man getting it going. Cole Benici with the biggest reception for the Seawolves so far.
And let me flash back a little bit. Home opener last season, Cole Benici was the number 2 tight end, had a very similar reception to that one.
Have to hold that. Zealous going quick. We'll hand it off to Dempster. Looks to run it up the middle. Gain of 1 yard. The ball will be placed on the near hash mark.
Number 0 carrying that football.
Used to be Johnny Martin. Who is that now? That's Ragsdale.
Ikea Ragsdale.
Ikea Ragsdale. So he was not someone who saw any action versus SDSU. I thought Shakai Carson was going to be the shoo-in for number 2 running back. I stand corrected. 2nd down and 9, ball on the 20. Zealous with a lot of movement right now will send Dez Williams and R.J. Lamar to the far side, then runs a man back to the near side. It's Flood Brown on the fake handoff. Zealous with pressure from A.J. Pena throws it out to the far flat, and it's almost picked off by Rhode Island. It was way too communicated that that play was going to Jace Freeman at the end. Brings up 3rd down and 9, ball on the 20.
And not just the communication of where that throw was going, but also just a floater that gave the defender plenty of time to come in and knock that one away. And frankly, they're lucky that they still have the football, because that was a very dangerous pass along the sidelines.
So Zealous with Ragsdale in the backfield with him. Benici lining up as a receiver. He'll go to the far side now. Zealous dropping back, looking for a man forward, fires it over the middle. It's bobbled and hits the turf. We do have a flag on the play. It's in the backfield. So I'm imagining this is going to be offensive holding.
It is. Early indication looks like.
And it will be offensive holding. So I imagine that the Rams will deny this, bringing up 4th down instead of another 3rd and long attempt. And so it will be declined by Jim Fleming, so me and him are on the same page. Maybe I'll get some dinner with him afterwards.
It will keep them at a manageable field goal, though.
Yes. So
because you tack another 5 yards on here, you're getting into the 45, 50 range.
And Kirby, the Aussie, comes back out, trying to add a second field goal into his total. The snap is bobbled. Kirby trying to run forward with it, and he'll just get shut down. So a problem on the long snap, and now Kirby down after the fact. His teammates trying to assess him. That would be a big loss for this special teams unit if Kirby is not able to return. Something is severely wrong as he was stumbling trying to get up. Now is standing up by himself. Athletic trainers are out there with him.
Someone's holding him. He tried to get up and stumbled immediately and went back to the turf. So we talked about how Stony Brook had cleaned up its special teams early in this game, won the first quarter as far as their special teams go. This time, a potentially disastrous play.
Obviously, when you fumble on the long snap, that's just an easy play for someone to pick it up, scoop, and score. A house call for the defense, but that didn't happen right there, thankfully for the Seawolves. But an equally a bad case scenario as Enda Kirby is now limping off to the sideline. And for the first time, George, if we get another punt, or not punt because he doesn't handle the punting duties, but if we get another kick or kickoff, I'll be saying a name other than Enda Kirby, and I'm not exactly sure who they have on their depth chart. I hope Billy Kosh knows.
Well, we're doing the good old Command F by the position. They have 2 other kickers on the roster, it seems. Jason Roberts, a redshirt freshman, and then Michael Menino.
Menino is their punter right now, as we will get the first play of the drive for the Rams. A first down and 10 goes for about 5 yards for Littleton Jr. out to the left side. 12:02 left in the second quarter, 10-0 the score in favor of the home team, Stony Brook. I'm not saying he was born in Australia.
Do we know that he's Australian?
I believe I read that somewhere. Maybe I'm making it up. Anyways, it's a cool thing. Farrell comes out to the near sideline on a run play for the Rhode Island quarterback, and he's tackled something very minimum, call it 2 yards, but it does get that first down chains moving.
And I would love if you guys at home could see how that tackle went down, because he hit the turf and just
Waterworks.
Water came straight up. So obviously you can get a sense of how saturated this turf is. It's been raining basically since 2 or 3 p.m. here on the North Shore of Long Island.
Farrell in the backfield, gets the snap, fake handoff to Littleton Jr., looks to the near flat, has a completion, and, well, his receiver got a concussion ball right there. Make it tight end, Connor Feiner got popped by A.J. Roberts.
And to make matters worse, the minute he goes down, you've got a sea of Seawolves on the sideline basically dunking right on his face.
Cackling like hyenas is about the closest thing I can compare it to. Second down and 7, ball on the 36 of the Rams end of the field. Farrell in shotgun. Littleton Jr. to his left. 2 receivers out to his left as well. We have a stacked offensive line. Buchanan looking to go on the far side. Farrell looking for Buchanan, fires it over the middle and has a reception. It's Gaines actually running a crossing route with Buchanan and has now what is the biggest reception of the night for the Rams.
Yeah, and that's not the first time we've seen a Rhode Island Ram break free in the secondary. It is the first time, however, we've seen Farrell make that connection and not airmail him.
So ball moved all the way to the 27-yard line in Stony Brook territory. The Rams with a first down and 10. Under center is Farrell. Puts Buchanan in motion to the right. Farrell with a pitch back to Littleton Jr. trying to rush to the left side of the field. Littleton Jr. with a big gain going all the way to the 10-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds.
And he just got nobody set the edge there. He was completely untouched basically until he got to the line to gain. Then somebody came out of the secondary and helped out. But maybe the easiest first down of the game for either side.
All right. So we will have some prime real estate in the red zone, potentially coming up for the Rams. It's 1st down and 10, ball on the 12-yard line. Farrell has Littleton Jr. directly behind him on the snap. Will hand it off to him. It's a fake, actually, to the end zone. Buchanan, a touchdown. It's now 10-6.
And now Rhode Island doing exactly what Stony Brook did earlier, taking the special teams mistakes and turning it into points.
Obviously, this could be a 13 to should be 7 after this extra attempt.
But that 7 is also with a short field because of the botched field goal.
Absolutely. So Garth White, the kicker for the Rams, will put his extra point up and through the wickets. So it is now 10-7, a 3-point Stony Brook lead, 9:10 remaining in the half. And obviously, George, this game was not going to end in a shutout for the Seawolves, but they definitely did want to keep them off the board for as long as possible. And additionally, they need to keep Gaines and Buchanan off the board. If they do that, they won't allow any more points this game.
Yeah, and we mentioned the loss of Rashawn Lawrence early in this broadcast. But arguably a bigger loss, and that was to graduation, is Rudy Silvera. Last year, cornerback, came in from LIU, had arguably the best year of any defensive back in the CAA. You now have to somehow replace that production. They've tried to do it with McGoy. Bryson Parker has helped out, but otherwise you are getting receivers, talented receivers, and a talented quarterback that are running free and basically taking yards at will in the secondary.
Now, in all fairness, this will be one of the 3 best receivers that you can play in all of FCS football. Buchanan is a preseason All-American, and that's on the first team. To give Stony Brook listeners a little bit of context, Roland Dempster made, and I'm going to say only, the All-American second team. That's how good Dempster is. There's still enough guys ahead of him to push him down to the second team.
Yeah, so they have to find a way to contain him. The linebackers, you know, Chase Chalmers is a former DB that's moved into the outside linebacker position. Anthony Forelli told me that he's tried to improve his presence in the passing game, but still, you can't rely on those guys to make big plays through the air, and they're going to need someone besides Parker and McGoy to step up.
So Enda Kirby is out of the medical tent now, is sitting on a bench, still in his playing uniform, so it's not like he's changed out of anything yet, but I would be shocked to see him return this game.
And it's one of those, when you're a kicker, your entire game relies on your lower body. And you see a lower body injury, whether it was a knee or an ankle, it messes with you, definitely.
So Garth White for the kickoff. Score is now 10-7, still in favor of Stony Brook.
And here's an opportunity for Stony Brook. You know, you get punched in the mouth. Your kicker gets knocked out potentially. You give up points going the other way, a couple of big plays. Now's your chance to punch back and make those points moot.
A response here would do wonders for the Seawolves. So White lining up to the right of the ball, will send it end over the end, spinning out to the left side. Des Williams is there to field it with a fair catch as well. So this time Stony Brook will start from about their own 7-yard line.
And who knows? We saw Stony Brook get a little bit more involved in the passing game on their last drive. Bonici, obviously, the 48-yard connection. Zealous, otherwise, just has 2 yards through the air. So 3 for 5 for 50, but if you remove that play, 2 for 4 for 2 yards. We'll see if he uses that right arm a little more on this drive.
1st down and 10, ball on the 25. Zealous handing it off to Dempster in the backfield, and he's quickly swarmed by the Rams. I believe first on the play was A.J. Pena.
And this is one of those moments where Billy Kosh knows it as well as anyone with his aerial background. They need a diverse offense. They cannot be handing it to Dempster 40 times a game.
Especially against this Rhode Island defense. That's just simply not going to work. So 2nd down and 10, ball still on the 25 of Stony Brook's own end. Zealous taking the snap, dropping back, looking left, throwing it over the middle. It's tipped by Flood Brown and picked off. The return. Zealous is the only man back, and he won't be able to tackle. That's a pick 6 for Rhode Island, and they flipped the script just like that. Hibbert doing the dirty work and getting his team up to 13 points.
And that's the one thing that could not happen.
So Flood Brown with probably an equally as large mistake as his quarterback, tipping the ball right there and allowing it to float right into the hands of the safety, Hibbert.
A costly mistake there, but also it was Zealous throwing under duress, forcing a pass over the middle, and certainly a catch that the wide receiver would tell you he should make. But he did have a defender coming right at him, one of those concussion balls, if he does stick that catch.
So Garth White quickly back out for another extra point, sinks it easily. It's now 14-10. The Rams have their first lead of the game. So now 2 turnovers for the Seawolves offense. They definitely have to clean that up, as if they continue to create turnovers, they're going to hemorrhage more points. Their defense bailed them out the first time, couldn't bail them out the second time, well, because they never got on the field.
Yeah, and if you look at Rhode Island's offense, they have not manufactured a drive yet. Both scores coming off mistakes by Stony Brook. 3 turnovers, actually, the one on special teams.
Turnover on downs.
The
Not
pick,
an official turnover.
The interception, and the fumble. And the fumble is avoidable. It's a Roland Dempster fumble. That doesn't happen often. And then a dropped pass that goes the other way. That is definitely avoidable. So mistakes that need to be cleaned up. We opened by saying how clean and mistake-free Billy Kosh's teams typically play. This second quarter really has been the opposite.
8:28 remaining in that second quarter. Stony Brook now down by 4. We said it was important for them to respond. That would have been for a 17-7 lead. Now it's to get the lead back at 17-14. And again, they could have had an extra 3 points on the board if they didn't have that botched special teams play. Once again, the punt is fading off to the left. Williams will go to receive it, running out to about the 30 before he is absolutely stood up. So it's going to be a drive from the 27-yard line for the Seawolves. This crowd here at Kenneth P. Laval Stadium, a little bit quieter than they were 15 minutes ago. So the drive will officially start from the 29, 1st down and 10. We do see Zealous go back out onto the field. It is possible that we see Casey Case later on this game, but we probably wouldn't see him till the second half anyways. Zealous with Dempster in the backfield with him, trips over to his left, will fake a handoff, run forward himself, pick up 2 yards.
And something I want to keep an eye on as a Rhode Island player is down without his helmet.
Looking like some lower body pain right there.
It's a defensive lineman.
I believe that's Case Mankins.
Speaking of the lines, we saw Nico Papic go down earlier. I saw him on the sidelines before that play. I can't spot him now. He's just walking into the huddle now. But I don't believe he was on the field for that pick 6. And why is that important? Because, like I said, Chris Zealous was throwing under duress, had hands in his face, and just forced a ball into a tough part of the field that went the other way. So if you get that veteran protection up front, maybe it's a bit easier for your quarterback to throw the football.
So the athletic staff having a lot of trouble getting the injured Ram off the field. Obviously, when you have a defensive lineman to go down, that 300-pound build is hard to get off the field. Hard for him to obviously walk under his own weight as well, so he might need a cart to come out. Obviously, the medical staff can make their own call.
Little local note from Brian Heyman of Newsday, who's covering this game. Lyson Hibbert, the man who took the pick 6 into the end zone for Rhode Island, a native of
Melville, New York.
Melville, went to Hills East. I believe that's Half Hollow Hills East.
Or also known by Dix Hills. That's at least, I know what their lacrosse team is called. Dix Hills had a very, very good lacrosse team in the 2025 season. I forget if they actually ended up claiming a state championship there. Wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Former LIU Shark.
Wouldn't be shocked if Billy Kosh had any eyes on Hibbert at any point to bring him back to the island.
Grad student, so not sure how much time he's got to do so.
I would have said most likely in this offseason, not the upcoming one, as any grad student is going to lose their eligibility after this season.
Let's not put ultimatums on things. They always find a way nowadays.
Well, I mean, now that we're out of the COVID era, it's rapidly changing.
Well, red shirts, injuries, you can always find a way.
There's a couple of ways.
Cart is out on the field.
Cart is out.
And Billy Kosh right there involved with everything.
Classy man.
Known good guy, Billy Kosh.
Known good guy, Billy Kosh.
Good Guy of the Year award goes to Coach Kosh.
And Tommy Pardo.
Yes.
So 8:14 left in the half. It's 14-10. Rams lead this game. We're going to be waiting for the 2nd down and 7 play for the Seawolves. Ball on the 32-yard line in their own half, of course. Cart is out and available, but the athletic staff still taking their time to get the player off the field. At this point in time, you're hoping that it is a lower body injury and nothing upstairs. Obviously, concussions are where this game can get very, very ugly and very, very dangerous.
Well put. Well put. When play does resume, it'll be a 2nd and 7 for Stony Brook. Zealous just rushed for 3 yards. And again, I'll keep reiterating it. Outside of the play to Cole Bunici, there has been nothing in the pass department for Stony Brook. And that's the biggest thing to me. Roland Dempster is a great player. He's averaging 6.3 yards per carry right now.
Yep.
But if you want to create consistent offense, there needs to be another option. There's 11 guys on defense. You can't have only one on offense.
So they are foregoing the cart and now bringing on the ambulance that always sits under Coach K Bridge.
We've never seen it in use, thankfully, until now.
Obviously, anytime that you get
not to make light of the situation, but I'm rather impressed in the driver's ability. He's backing up the entire perimeter, or the entire length of the field in reverse.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously concerned right now as any time you should be with the ambulance coming out. Little fun fact from elsewhere on the island. LIU potentially getting an FBS upset.
Against?
The Eastern Michigan Eagles.
Not gonna lie, did not know they were FBS. Obviously, LIU football has been in the news because they had the pleasure of traveling down to Gainesville last weekend and getting their doors blown off by the University of Florida, who were upset today by the University of South Florida.
Upsets galore with anything LIU touches, apparently.
And anything USF touches. A couple now upsets. Last week, Boise State. This week, Florida.
It would be no surprise that Eastern Michigan University, the Eagles, are in the MAC, the most notorious FBS conference that gets upset by FCS teams.
One of the two MACs.
The
MAC.
Yes, not the MAAC. So the stretcher now out on the field. Obviously, the stretcher helps the ability to lift the player into the ambulance. I'm hoping that that's the reason that the ambulance came out and not that this is more of a medical emergency that would warrant the ambulance. Obviously, we will know as they depart the field, and George, the reason he backs up the whole way is he can leave facing forward.
Park for departure.
Park for departure. So now the entire Rhode Island team out on the field to make sure that their brother is okay. Still can't get a visual on the player himself. Again, we believe it's number 97, Case Mankins. I never got a complete look at the jersey number, though. Completely surrounded by a medical staff. Again, very good professionals here at Stony Brook University.
Looks like the jersey just might have come off. 96, is that the number I see?
Close to 97, so can't exactly be sure.
Well, all linemen have the same number.
If it is 96, that would be Wilson Jr., the redshirt junior, also a defensive lineman. An applause coming up from both teams now as the entire Rams team surround their guy. Now, I'm assuming since the Rams are allowed to surround him, that is nothing that would require the ambulance to rush off to Stony Brook Hospital.
Yeah, and the ambulance doesn't seem like it's in a great rush to get out of here.
So I am hoping that this is just a lower body injury that prevented
him from moving.
Wilson from moving.
I was looking for my roster to find the name, and then I noticed that Kevin took it from me.
I didn't take anything. You put this over here.
Of course. So it was Kareem Wilson Jr., redshirt junior, transferred from FAU. Florida Atlantic, the Owls.
AAU Division II national champions for hockey.
We got to find a way to get Kevin to stop talking about hockey.
It's not going to happen.
It's
not
September.
Happen. It's not going to happen.
We got a month still.
It's not going to happen. Do you know who they beat in the finals?
I don't, and frankly,
you
can keep that one to yourself.
High Point University.
During the delay, Flow Sports was flashing some graphics up on their screen. It was an all-time record. Stony Brook led the all-time series against Rhode Island 7-3. Last time they played, though, it was a different Stony Brook team, but an ugly result for the Seawolves. Pretty bad loss at Rhode Island back in 2023. Second game of that disastrous 0-10 season that eventually got Chuck Prior to a different job. Literally. Reassigned in the Stony Brook athletics realm. And we still do not know what that said job is or was, because I believe he is now enjoying retirement, maybe.
I would if I had that contract that he got bought out from.
There's $625 left.
So Stony Brook now doing some jumping jacks on the sideline to keep their bodies loose. Obviously, there's been a lot of stop and goes for these two teams There's weather factoring into everything, so nothing about this game is standard. That's for sure.
They've probably been in their cleats since 11 a.m., noon. They still got another 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
2+ hours, yeah.
Actually, they're now flashing highlights of that last game against Rhode Island back in 2023. I was confused why Casey Case was on the field.
Casey Case could come back out onto the field.
Casey Case is more than just an option.
Personally, I would be more than fine with seeing Casey Case come out in the second half just to see what's there with him. Not saying that Chris Zealous has been bad by any imagination. Obviously, the interception, partially his fault, partially the fault of his receiver and Jaden Flood-Brown. But at the same time, he did have a couple of nice runs. He does have that completion to Cole Benici. But obviously you need to see more from the aerial game than just that one pass. George talked about it. Without that pass to his tight end, wasn't exactly the same stat line.
Yeah, and frankly, it's to no fault of Zealous. It's just a matter of personnel and where the skill sets fit of the Stony Brook team. Casey Case isn't immobile as much as we've accused him of being on the Sunday show, but he is a pass-first quarterback, and Chris Zealous is quite literally as far in the opposite direction as you can be. So if you remove that passing attack, you know that the ball is going to Roland Dempster.
All right, so we are back. 2nd down and 7, ball on the 32-yard line for the Seawolves. Zealous with a man in the backfield. Trips over to his right as well. He'll fake the handoff, take it himself, run it out to the left side, pick up another couple of yards, should bring up a 3rd down and 3, ball at the 46-yard line. Spot coming a little bit farther back than that mark. 3rd down and 4, ball on the 35. Zealous giving his teammates commands under center, then backing up. He has 5 receivers available on this play. 3 out to the right, to the left. Empty backfield for Zealous. Calling for the ball, he'll clap forward and get it. Pedaling back just a little bit. Floating a ball deep. Does he have a man? No, he does not. That was intended for Dez Williams, but hits the turf without Dez even laying a finger on it. He was in double coverage as well. So with 4th down and 4 on the docket, Stony Brook will come out and punt.
And a weird spot, in my opinion, to really air it out if you're Chris Zealous. You need 4 yards. You can get Dempster involved out of the backfield. That's a weird spot where you don't need the big hitter to take that shot.
So Clayton Taylor, the punter, coming out. He'll sell this one end over end to about the 25-yard line. Takes a Rhode Island bounce out to the 27, and that's where Farrell will come back for it.
So not a bad job flipping the field.
Not exactly as deep or pinned as they'd like Rhode Island. And this is, again, we talk about important drives, George. The drives that can really punch another team in the throat, in the mouth, wherever you want to imagine. Well, Rhode Island can do that right here to take a 21-10 lead.
Yeah, you don't want to push this to 2 scores with the way your offense is so dependent on the methodical, long drives centered around their run.
Handoff will go to Littleton Jr. He finds a seam in the middle of the field, runs out for 10 yards, lowers the shoulder, and stumbles for a total of 13. Camara taking some punishment as well on the tackle.
I believe A.J. Roberts was right in the middle of bringing him down. It was really Roberts and Camara, or he was going the distance.
So ball out to the 40 now in Rhode Island territory. 1st down and 10. We have 6:54 left in the 2nd quarter. Right now, Farrell is under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield. Has no targets, floats it for Buchanan, who does get open at the last minute. Pile drive by 5 different Stony Brook players, but it's another big gain out to the 43-yard line of the Seawolves.
And an impressive play there for Buchanan. By the time he was tackled, he was circled by 5 or 6 guys, but somehow was able to slip free and find that little cushion to give his quarterback a chance. So Rhode Island now 2 plays in, 3 plays in, on the move.
First down and 10. Ball on the 39. Brown in motion. Farrell takes the handoff, gives it to Littleton Jr., trying to power his way through another sea of Stony Brook. Gets 5 yards running out to the right.
And now you're seeing a bit of Stony Brook getting a taste of their own medicine, that yards after contact from the running back, as Littleton was clobbered at the line of scrimmage and still somehow found a way to get 4.
Second down and 6. Ball on the 35. 1 receiver to the left and right of Farrell. Littleton Jr. in the backfield. The tight end is Kevin Schaefer. Farrell takes the snap. Littleton Jr. running out to the near sideline. He has some room out to the 20, and he's going to run out of bounds right there.
And I think Rhode Island has really found Stony Brook's Achilles heel. That run to the outside, they haven't been able to defend it yet. They've stuffed the run up the middle, but those big passes over the top and getting to the perimeter have certainly been a strong point for the Rhode Island offense.
Approaching 5 minutes to play in the half. First down and 10. Ball on the 22. Farrell. Receivers left and right, an equal amount on either side. It's 2 per. He is in the backfield. Littleton Jr., of course, there with him. Sends Buchanan in motion over to the left. 3 receivers left now. Littleton Jr. going out to the left flat. Does get the ball, almost breaking a tackle, and he's just barely brought down. Credit A.J. Roberts on that play. It's still a gain of about 3, call it 2 on the official scoreboard.
Littleton now 66 yards on 11 carries. That's an average of 6 on the ground. That should be his first, or his second reception, first time he's getting yardage out of it.
Second down and 8. And again, the ball on the 20 in Seawolf territory. Farrell in the backfield. Running back with him right now is Winowich. Gets the handoff. Winowich on his first carry. Doesn't do much, but still gets some positive yardage, pushing the chains forward by a yard. It's third down now, a big third down for the Seawolves. They have 1 stop on third down, 1 stop on fourth down.
And if you can hold Rhode Island to 3 points and keep this a 1-score game, I think that's a big win if you're Billy Kosh.
So Farrell, once again with Winowich in the backfield, has 2 receivers right, 1 left, puts Gaines in motion, hovers behind Buchanan. Farrell dropping back, hit as he throws, it's to Gaines, no good. Ball does touch the ground. Seawolves get the third down stop, and 42, Anthony Farrelly was in the backfield with pressure on Farrell.
Very close to the first time that the Rhode Island quarterback has been sacked today. Farrelly just left untouched and came at him like a cannonball.
Garth White will try this from the 25-yard line, add 10. It's in total a 35-yard attempt. Stony Brook, we need to make sure they stay on sides as well. Can't afford a penalty right here. The snap. Placement is good. Kick is up and through. That's another 3 points for the Rams. They'll extend their lead out to 7 points.
Well, certainly not the ideal drive. You'd like to get a 3-and-out, give your offense a quick chance there, but still, you keep the game within striking distance. You can tie it with 1 score, and now you give your offense 3 minutes, 32 seconds to go make something happen. We'll see if Billy Kosh opts to make any personnel changes coming out of the halftime locker room. Obviously, Rhode Island will get that opening kickoff, but now he's giving his offense a chance to go out and make a statement here before we take a little break.
George, I'm glad you mentioned the fact that Rhode Island will get the ball to start the second half. That's important because you don't want Rhode Island playing double jeopardy and getting another score before Stony Brook can respond. That's why this drive right now is so important. They've been stuffed on their last 2, and again, one of those 2 was a pick 6.
And really, you have to limit the big defensive plays. Limit the interceptions, limit the fumbles, limit the sacks. Keep the chains moving forward. Go out and burn some clock, and maybe you get one to break free.
All right, so Garth White to kick this one off. We'll send it high and left again. We'll take a big bounce almost going into the end zone. Des Williams will field this, trying to run forward. There is a flag down on the play as Des Williams gets out to the 20-yard line. Flag is behind him from the lead official here. Conversation between the referees now, waiting for them to pick up the flag. We have a holding call on Stony Brook. So we'll back them up. First down, and obviously they keep possession.
3 timeouts for Stony Brook. 2-minute warning. Time should not be a factor here, but you have to get probably a couple big plays here, especially with the nature of this offense, keeping it on the ground, burning some clock.
So Zealous will get this drive as well. He has 3 receivers on the near side, 1 to the far side. Dempster in the backfield with him. Dempster put into motion, then we'll get the handoff. Instead, it's a fake play, a throw out to the flat, some room to run for the Seawolves, and it's Marquise Dietz with his biggest gain of the night.
And you talk right there as they're running an up-tempo, but some diversity in the offense. Get something creative going, get away from the runs up the middle. Already a good start for Stony Brook.
Zealous hurrying it up from his own 27-yard line, looking to the flat for Dempster, stumbles ahead for about 3 yards before he's forced out of bounds. 3:01 to play in the first half. 17-10 the score. Seawolves trail this game. Zealous. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Dempster running out to the right flat. Zealous now scrambling, has to run this one himself. Will pick up another 2 yards before running out of bounds in almost the same spot that Dempster did.
And this is one of those spots you don't want to give the ball back to Rhode Island before the 2-minute warning. Really, you don't want to give it back at all. Here's a spot they need a conversion.
3rd down and 4. Zealous looks like he'll opt out to Dempster. Dempster running around the edge to the far side. Will get the first down. Waiting for the referees. It's going to be close on this one, George.
It looked like Dempster might have dove at the last minute.
So it's 4th and inches. 2:18 to play. Stony Brook going to keep the same personnel out. Fake it to Dempster. Zealous has a room to run. Zealous out to the 50, and he dives down. Big gain for Chris Zealous, and he's amped after that one. The Hampton transfer showing what he can do.
And that is a huge play for Chris Zealous as we hit the 2-minute warning. But that is the type of play, if you have a mobile quarterback that struggles throwing the football, that is the play he can make to make up for it. 4th and inches, you figure, well, he'll line up right under center, hand it off to his beast of a running back. No, line up behind this, in shotgun, takes the snap, looks to pass, at least makes it look like he's going to pass, but then just takes off by himself, basically untouched for a 10-yard pickup. We think stat broadcast a little bit behind. Just a little bit behind. They're a whole minute behind us. So
it's okay. They'll get there. Nonetheless,
they have a break in the action to catch themselves up.
The ball will be placed directly on the 50-yard line. George, I am shocked because there are Stony Brook students in the Stony Brook fan zone right now.
Well, there's a few.
There's a few.
Which, considering what we've seen, isn't so bad.
I mean,
there's excitement around the program, you'd like to think.
It's 10:02 p.m.
It's pouring.
It's raining. It's been raining. Listen, I wouldn't be here right now, and I cover the games. Well, I am here right now, so I don't exactly know what I'm saying.
You have the comfort of a glass box.
And I get to look to my right. I see the beautiful face of Johnny Wincott. You know, I get to be around.
He just ignored the fact that I'm to his right, but
I wouldn't call your face beautiful, though.
well, we're on radio, so nobody has to know.
All right, so enough of us talking. The 2-minute warning is over. Ball at the 50-yard line. First down and 10 for Zealous. He's trying to put together his best drive in a Stony Brook uniform so far.
And keep in mind, as Stony Brook looks to get points on this drive, we don't know the status of their kicker.
We do not. I have seen Enda Kirby walking around at a minimum. Now, I don't know if that warrants kicking condition. I don't know what kicking condition looks like for kickers. I was never a kicker. I did know a kicker in high school. 2 receivers out to the left, 2 to the right. Zealous takes the low snap, hands it off to Dempster. He's up the middle, 2 yards. A.J. Pena made that tackle, and he's excited about it.
Tackled very high up on Dempster.
2nd down and 8, ball on the 48. Zealous trips to his left, Dempster to his left. Takes the snap, fakes it, runs it himself, trying to get around the edge, and he's gaining a minimal amount of yards right there, if anything at all. And it will stay as 8 yards to go. The downs will change over to 3rd, and another long conversion coming out for Billy Kosh and crew.
And really nowhere for Zealous to go on that play, chewing up a good bit of clock and not really getting anything out of it.
So Zealous with a tall task in front of him. They'll throw the house at him. Zealous looking over to his right, floats it right, and does not have the completion. It was Marquise Dietz, the intended target, but the ball was nowhere near him, and the Seawolves will be forced to punt with 1:06. And now Rhode Island a chance to double dip.
And that's a disappointing drive. You kind of got back. You had a promising start to it and then got back to what you've been seeing. The runs up the middle getting stuffed. The over-reliance on the ground game. Obviously, the rain will play a factor into it, but still.
So the punt from Taylor will bounce almost at the 15-yard line. A diving catch. A little bit potentially unnecessary for Angel Sanchez. Not exactly sure why he felt the need to dive forward like that. That could easily cause another fumble. We've already seen Rhode Island commit one of those.
Well,
on
commit
special
2
teams.
of them. Commit 2 total fumbles. One of them obviously
called back.
So
59 seconds left. Obviously, this Rhode Island offense has the explosiveness to go the length of the field in that time. I'm sure Buchanan feels the ability to do that by himself on one play. Seeing who's in the matchup right now against Buchanan, it is Camara. It's a one-on-one look against Buchanan. Farrell might target him right away. Instead, it's a handoff to Littleton Jr. He tries to pivot left around a couple of blockers, but there are enough Stony Brook linebackers there to create a pile and kill the momentum after a gain of 3. Ball out to the 20-yard line, 2nd down and 7.
And if nothing else, that helps Stony Brook. Well,
Billy Kosh will take a timeout.
I was going to say, if nothing else, it lets the clock run down and make sure Rhode Island doesn't have the time to muster a big drive here. But at the same time, Billy Kosh stopped the clock himself.
So Chris Zealous actually right now having a conversation with Casey Case on the sideline. Wonder what those two are talking about. I would love to be on a fly on the wall there. Again, you got to consider, George, about what these two quarterbacks allow not only the team, not only the receivers, but the playbook that Billy Kosh is calling up, as well as offensive coordinator Anthony Davis. Because I have a feeling that your playbook drastically changes between Chris Zealous and Casey Case. Handoff once again will go to Littleton Jr. A bowl up the middle, but a bowl that doesn't do a whole lot. It's another 2 yards.
And you saw, you know, obviously Malachi Marshall was a more than capable quarterback last year. But you really saw the offense explode after Tyler Knopp took over.
As we have a flag on the play as well. as the referees will mull this one over. That's why we have another stop. 46 seconds remaining in the first half. 17-10 your score. Stony Brook down by 7 points. They led this game at 1 point, 10-0.
Yeah, and it's been a tale of 2 quarters. First quarter, 10-0 Stony Brook, shut out the Rams. Second quarter, Rhode Island, 17 unanswered. And still on offense, 46 seconds to play with. Couple of stoppages in play here. So we still don't know what this flag's all about.
Penalty is on Stony Brook, personal foul for a block below the waist.
A block below the waist personal foul on the Seawolves.
Gonna be honest, not entirely sure what that means.
I don't either. But it will advance 15 yards for the Rams. So another penalty against Stony Brook. I wouldn't exactly call this one super costly, as they still have the Rams in their own half. But obviously any penalty that can be avoided should be avoided. So Farrell with a new look after the penalty advanced them. First down and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. Littleton Jr. in the backfield with his quarterback, Buchanan. Out to the left, Gaines on the right side. One more receiver flanks Buchanan to his left. As there is a discussion between the referees. Stony Brook potentially with too many men on the field if they go quickly enough. A.J. Roberts does get over the sideline, handoff to Littleton Jr., trying to find a hole and does up the C gap. Gets 2 on the play. I feel like I've been saying that all the time about Littleton Jr. And we'll take a timeout now for Rhode Island. The spot for the referees will be a little bit favorable. Picks up 4 in total for Littleton Jr. Probably got that little extra yardage diving ahead, but obviously any yard that you can get on first down is important.
Well, it's been constant yardage for him. It is now 14 carries, 77 yards. His longest is only 15 as opposed to Dempster's 54-yarder. So 5.5 average for the Rhode Island running back, 5.9 for Stony Brook.
Obviously, it's hard to shut down a run game when you're not getting tackles for a loss, and that's something Stony Brook has not been doing.
And really neither team has. No sacks in this game.
Sebastian Regis and Rodney Folk are 2 important players on the defensive line. Let's see if they can get anything going. Second down and 6, ball in the 42. Farrell in the backfield, has Littleton Jr. Does he feed him? No, instead drops back, looks left, and does have a receiver on the near sideline at the 39-yard line of the Seawolves. The reception is made, and Kwarteng will get his. So now the ball on the 42, first down and 10 for the Rams. 29 seconds remaining. Stony Brook have 2 things in their favor. Not only the 42 yards, but those 29 seconds. They got to get the stop right here, though. Buchanan, once again, matching up with Camara, one-on-one on the near sideline. Check that. It's actually Askin, and we will get a flag before the play even goes out. Got to wait to see what that's going to be.
Looks like
referee, false start, offense.
And you could kind of tell based on the reaction, I believe, of Sebastian Regis. He was well over the line. And typically when that happens, it's because somebody flinched.
So it's going to be another 3-front look for this defensive line of the Seawolves, not blitzing too many. 3 receivers to the left for Farrell. He's looking left right now, airing it out to the far sideline. Has another reception. It's Gaines for 13 on the play before he's out of bounds. 23 seconds left. The clock stops. He was forced out of bounds by Camara, but obviously getting that reception and getting out of bounds is everything you can ask for as a coach in that situation. So another first down and 10, ball on the 26. The Seawolves are now running out of territory to give the Rams.
And you're seeing a lot of soft coverage, zone coverage with DBs dropping back and giving up yardage for the sake of a tackle. But at the same time, you're running out of field, like you said.
Farrell, 2 receivers left and right. Littleton Jr. in the backfield, won't hand it off. This time, looks to the near sideline, gains. Does he get it? The reception is made at the 1-yard line. Head on a swivel, he somehow reels it in. Kamara, in all fairness, was step for step with him, just could not locate the ball.
And you're really seeing now the defensive backs of Stony Brook getting picked apart. Farrell now 12 for 19, 157 yards, which might sound good, but it's even more impressive when you consider what he's throwing it through. Because we talked about how he struggled to hit his receivers on deep balls his first couple throws, overshot them, maybe spiked a few because of the slipperiness of the football. Now you're seeing him right on the money through the rain, still managing to hit his guys, and it's Stony Brook is doing themselves no favors. Really, that's one of the first times that they've had competitive coverage on a URI receiver.
Absolutely. And this secondary was something that I had questions about going into the season. Some of those questions were relieved when I saw the play of Miles McGoy. You have the senior, ability of Kamara. You have Bryson Parker, who's apparently supposed to be a breakout player, according to the players that you interviewed, George. But right now, like you said, picked apart. Ball on the 1-yard line. Farrell not going to take this one in the handoff, looking to the far pylon, and that pass is broken up. The intended receiver was Buchanan. In on coverage, I believe, was Askin. It is going to be actually number 1, Bryson Parker.
I'll take credit for that one.
So second down now. Ball still on the 1, obviously.
At the same time, that was an opportunity for an interception. Parker jumped the route a little bit and knocked it out of bounds.
I believe another timeout coming up. Timeout taken by Rhode Island. That's their last of the half. 12 seconds remain. So obviously they can go for these passing plays, George, and just shave little bits of time off the clock. And that's not going to be a real problem. The question is, how many chances do they give themselves running it with either Farrell or Littleton Jr.? Because pounding it in from the 1-yard line, in theory, is one of the easiest plays to do. I'm sorry, Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, but the other fact of the matter is if you run into a wall and you have a big pile right on the goal line and you don't get it, I don't know that you're going to pull apart that pile in 12 seconds. Time now very much a factor, and because they took that timeout, they have to be very confident in their running game for them to run the football. But an empty backfield here to start.
Only in the backfield is
mind.
Littleton Jr. Farrell is under center, has his tight end Schaefer and Buchanan as the only options for receiving. Swinging out to the left, Littleton Jr. out to the left as well, gets the reception into the end zone. 1 yard is all they needed, and it's what they will get. 23-10 now the score. Stony Brook down by 13 points and a PTA on the way. PAT. Not the Parent-Teacher Association.
No.
That's where I got it from, I think.
So should this go through, be 24 unanswered for Rhode Island.
And it will be 24 unanswered as the extra point is nailed by Garth White. And again, George, we talked about double dipping, and this is exactly how you can do it. Rhode Island up by 14 points. Stony Brook shut out in the second quarter as well.
Well, we talked right at the beginning of the last Stony Brook offensive drive about how that drive on offense was the most important one of the game. They did fine. They moved the ball down the field, got to the 2-minute warning, still possessing the football. But then really you allow a drive of 39 seconds to go 84 yards and allow Rhode Island to punch it in the end zone. That can't happen.
Big receptions from Gaines, most likely.
And so now you look at, well, yes, that offensive drive for Stony Brook was crucial, but now the defensive drive that's coming up after the 15-minute intermission will be even more important.
Could decide the rest of the momentum for the game.
And I would be curious to see if Casey Case does see some action here, because Chris Zealous, again, really 74 yards, 48 of them were on one play, mostly a yard after catch play from his tight end.
And it's not exactly like the Seawolves are starved for a good running back. They have Roland Dempster.
But now they need quick scores.
What they might need is some aerial game as well, as a fair catch will be called by Stony Brook. They will get it, bring it out to the 25-yard line. Marquise Dietz with the fair catch call. 7 seconds left. I have a feeling Stony Brook is just going to take a knee here. I would find it surprising if they look for any kind of Hail Mary opportunity, but you never know. It is obviously Chris Zealous back out onto the field. He will line up in shotgun, so no victory formation here. Has 3 receivers on the play, 2 over to his right, 1 to his left. Zealous will take the snap and take a knee. So, with that, the first half will come to a close. 30 minutes played, 30 minutes remain. 24-10 the score. Stony Brook trail by 14. George, your closing thoughts of the half.
Yeah, I mean, too many preventable mistakes for Stony Brook. At least 2 of the Rhode Island scores were directly allowed by Stony Brook mistakes. And then at the same time, just not really, outside of a few plays, not really a diverse offensive playbook. It's been a lot of Roland Dempster running up the middle, and it's been a lot of Chris Zealous designed runs, but nothing in the passing department, nothing in the play action department. And really, that's something that the sheer personnel that Billy Kosh has, it might hold them back.
It really could. The question is what kind of adjustments are made at the half? Great coaches make great adjustments. Billy Kosh also does know how to delegate the different things he needs to look at. As a quarterback coach, he might spend a little bit, a previous quarterback coach, I should say, he might spend a little bit more time with either Case or Zealous, depending on who comes out. And, well, the defense, they got to figure out what the defense needs to do. All of that coming up after this halftime break. 19-17 left on the clock, and myself, Kevin Broderick, and George Caratzas will be back for the second half. And we are back for the second half. 2:50 out from it. Rhode Island will be getting the ball first. They're up 24-10 against the home team, Stony Brook Seawolves. Of course, this is number 8, 9, depending on what poll you look at, ranked Rhode Island against an unranked Stony Brook Seawolves football team. They fell out of the top 25 in both polls with their loss to SDSU. Myself, Kevin Broderick, joined by George Caratzas on the call. George, you had a little time to mull it over, a little time to talk it up with everyone else in the press box. What are the thoughts you came away with?
Yeah, and I really think the disparities of the first half do lie in the type of offense that each team is running. Stony Brook, we knew they were going to be run dependent. They were all of last season, outside of that one game against Towson where Tyler Knopp practically broke every school passing record. Otherwise, it was a Roland Dempster-led offense, and it's been much of the same today. But I think I used this quote in the first half. You got 11 guys on defense, you can't have only one on offense. And that really was Roland Dempster. 16 carries for 95 yards, an average of 5.9, and the only touchdown belongs to number 4. But if you look at the receiving, Cole Bonici had 1 catch for 48 yards. Otherwise, Marquise Dietz for 2 for 19. That's it.
And Dietz as a big weapon is important, but it's noticeable, George, that these long-range threats.
Jace Freeman, nowhere to be seen.
Jace Freeman, Des Williams,
RJ
Lamar, who were all top targets last year for Tyler Knopp, who all would consistently put up 50-yard games, and several other times go above 100 yards each. I mean, looking for the stats that I have here, 23 receptions for 506 yards, 6 touchdowns, 46 yards per game for Jace Freeman last year. Looking over to Des Williams, 30 receptions for 382 yards with 2 touchdowns, 31 yards per game. 3 receptions against SDSU for 21 yards specifically. RJ Lamar in his 6th year, 22 receptions, 267 yards, 22 yards per game last year. That's all considering that you also don't have Josiah Williams, who was another big receiver last year.
For what it's worth, you don't have Chance Knox.
You don't have Chance Knox, who was thrown a few too many concussion balls for him to be a mainstay of last year's offense. Even if you look at Cole Bonici, 14 receptions, 259 yards for 2 TDs, had a long as 63, 21 yards per game. He's above his yards per game, but you also have to mention the other tight end that was playing last year in Cal Redmond. Cal Redmond would also get a fair amount of targets. So,
especially in the red zone where we've already seen Stony Brook stall out on a drive.
So all of that to say, the passing game is not there for Stony Brook. And I do believe we have another Rhode Island Ram down on the field. And if you're wondering if we missed a play, we did not. This would be a off-field injury.
He's on the field.
Well, he's on the field, but
away from the action.
A non-play injury. We do have quite a few referees surrounding the player or person who is down.
We haven't even seen the player. We just know it's an injury because the stretcher is out.
Yes, so we honestly couldn't fully tell you that it is a player because we don't know.
We shall see. In the meantime, though, we kind of ragged on the wide receivers. I don't know that you can even blame them because Chris Zellis really has not moved the ball downfield. You look at his passing, 5 for 10 with an interception. That interception was a tipped ball by Jaden Flood-Brown, but only 74 yards through the air. He is 12 carries for 65 yards on the ground, so he has run the ball more than he has thrown the ball. That is a problem, and if you consider the 74 yards, well, 48 of them came on one play, the long pass to Cole Bonici, which was maybe a 15-yard connection, and then yards after the catch. And that's a drive that ended up stalling out. So I'm curious to see how quick of a trigger Billy Kosh has on Chris Zellis, because we knew last week that Chris Zealous and Casey Case were going to split time. They treated that game like a spring training matchup. This one matters, and I'd be curious to see if he has seen enough from his new transfer from Hampton, or if he is going to give Casey Case, the veteran who's been here, played at Stony Brook, was handed the starting reins in 2023, if he gives him a shot.
Regardless, it's going to have to start with a defensive stop here for the Seawolves, as they will be kicking away, going right to left. Again, the sun doesn't particularly matter because the sun is not shining on this part of this earth currently. Hopefully that changes. If it doesn't, I think we consider that apocalyptic.
We are long past the point of the sun being a factor. It's still just the rain, which hasn't stopped. Took a quick walk downstairs, and people look like they just went for a swim.
So Michael Menino to send us off into the second half, sends this ball high and spinning all the way to the goal line, where it's caught as a fair catch, and we will start from the 25-yard line for the Rams.
So, per our football beat reporter for the day, Braden Daniello over at the Statesman, sitting a few booths down from us, he said the ref was the one that went down on the field.
I believe I concur.
So we are down an umpire.
Down an umpire. Still have 15 minutes in the third quarter, though. And so the Seawolves still trail 14 points.
And they still have a stand to make.
Right now, Farrell under center. He's going to pitch this one out left. Littleton Jr. trying to race to the far sideline. Gets out of bounds after gaining 3 yards. It should bring up a second down. Call it 7 roughly.
Well, good on Rhode Island for keeping the chains moving, but that really is one of the few times that Littleton has not broke free down the sideline. He's found a lot of success going up and down either sideline, as Stony Brook has not been able to set that edge.
Second down and 7, ball on the 28 now. This time Farrell will be in a different look in shotgun. Littleton Jr. still out on the field. 2 receivers over to the right of Farrell. It's, of course, Gaines and Buchanan. Buchanan lining up, running down the field. His quarterback in a lot of pressure, trying to scramble forward, and he's brought down for the sack. Stony Brook get their first tackle for a loss on the game, their second quarterback pressure, and that, George, is a big difference.
A huge difference, really. We talked about the struggles in the secondary for Stony Brook, as the wide receivers for Rhode Island have been going wherever they want, whenever they want. That's how it starts. If you have struggles in the secondary, hurt the originator, hurt the guy throwing the ball, and you won't have those big plays going down the field.
Third down and 9. Ball back to the 26-yard line. Farrell in shotgun. Littleton Jr. right. 3 receivers right, 1 left. It's Gaines, ISO on the left side. Gaines gets his man to shake free, but the pass is well over his head. Gaines was marked one-on-one by Shamar Askin. Doesn't matter this time, and it will be a 3 and out for this Stony Brook defense.
And not to nitpick there, but that was a complete reversal to what we saw in the first half. Practically no pressure, just a 3-man rush against Farrell, and then even the receiver broke free and got open. It was just airmailed.
The punt is spinning to Dietz. He'll back up and mark it. It takes a big Stony Brook bounce from the 45-yard line to about the 48. So, George, who will be our quarterback to call for this half as the Seawolves offense will grace the field for the first time?
Well, I did see Chris Zealous in the huddle. Now Casey Case comes in on the outside, and it will be Zealous.
So Case back over to the sideline. Zealous still in his starting role. Billy Kosh deemed he did enough to earn it. Let's see if the Hampton transfer can show a little bit more of an arm. He'll take this snap from his own 49-yard line. First down and 10, first play of the drive. Fakes a handoff to Dempster, does actually give it to him. Dempster rolling the shoulder as he goes around the outside edge and picks up 2 yards before he's swung out of bounds.
Well, I gotta say, Roland Dempster really made this Stony Brook team lucky on that one because he ran right into a wall. Most running backs go down behind the line of scrimmage there. His ability is the only reason that was a positive play.
2nd down and 7. Ball now on the 48 of Rhode Island. Zealous, low snap, handles it to Dempster. Dempster has some room to the 35, making it the 30. Dempster still going and picks up a big gain. 20-plus yards for Roland Dempster, and Stony Brook are cooking with a little bit more than gas right now.
That's a big play they need. Now you can't keep riding him. Find someone else to make some offense.
Zealous on the snap, fake handoff. Dietz on the screen, trying to carry this forward. He stood up after about 2 yards on the near sideline. The pick was set up by Des Williams. A very good job from him on that screen. 210 pounds, looked like a little bit more there.
Well, at the very least, you keep the chains moving, keep the positive yardage coming, and they gave him a little bit more than 2 as it's now 2nd and 7.
Like George said, 2nd and 7, ball on the 25-yard line. 12-12 to play in the third quarter. Handoff for Stony Brook. That's some more positive yardage as they try to move the chains. An important 3rd down coming. And once again, George, we're not seeing any Shakai Carson. It's the backup running back, Ragsdale, getting these secondary carries. Flag does come out. Looks like we're going to get a false start on Stony Brook. It is such. That's a momentum killer.
And that's the type of play that they had done such a good job of preventing early in this game. As I try and pull up, actually, the penalties. Stony Brook, on offense, that's the 2nd false start they've had. But for the most part, the pre-snap penalties have been going against Rhode Island.
3rd down and 10. Ball on the 29. Zealous is going to get the grace of another flag as A.J. Pena levels him to the turf.
False start again.
False start on the offense. So a 3rd down and 5 is backed up to a 3rd down and 15. After so many positive plays, it's the offensive line biting Stony Brook in the butt.
So you start the drive at midfield, get a big play from your running back, put yourself in a position to maybe put points on the board, and now back to the 34-yard line. And again, the status of your kicker is unknown.
Probably known to Billy Kosh, but not to us in this booth. Zealous looking for another screen, gets a completion to Des Williams. He has a little bit of room to run. Des Williams still going and gets all 15 yards on the near sideline. Des Williams with a big play, and his helmet popped off afterwards, but his teammates are there to pick him right back up.
That is maybe the most impressive play this game so far. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, didn't really shake any tackles, just kept maneuvering through guys and just kept on going.
Little bit preemptive on the 1st down call. It looks like it's going to be another 4th and inches scenario. So it's at the 19-yard line right now. Zealous with Dempster on the field. Zealous takes the snap, hands it off. Dempster trying to run through the C gap, gets some good positive yards. Should be marked down for a 1st down. Is ragdolled back the other way, but that part doesn't matter. Forward momentum will move those chains.
And that's the thing you love about Roland Dempster. Tackles for loss don't really happen with him. Those 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s, you figure 99 times out of 100 he's going to get it.
Dempster with another handoff, this time trying to run right around his center, goes for 2, waiting for the spot. Referees will mark it as 3 yards on the run.
And a man down for Stony Brook. It looks like a lineman on the far side.
Everyone getting up, and now I see what you're talking about, George. Don't see a number as he is lying down right now. It is on the right side. It makes you think it is Melendez or Papich. Stony Brook already have their backup left tackle playing in K instead of the normal starter, Allen. An interesting trio of players taking a seat for the Seawolves, it's Forelli, Kaler, and Parker all hanging out together away from the rest of the team as they take a little bit of time to rest up. 3 of the stars for this defense. Forelli and Kaler sitting right next to each other. They did know each other, George, back in 2023.
They did. Played together.
Forelli would have been a freshman at the time.
Red shirt.
Well, he would have been playing his redshirt freshman season.
Yes,
so they would have actually known each other for
sophomore.
2 years.
Yes.
So those guys, I would imagine they have a good relationship. 2 very, very good linebackers. And it wouldn't be a stretch of imagination to say that Forelli picked up a thing or 2 from Kaler before he went to go play for Charlotte in the FBS. Obviously, then making his famous Twitter post, now we call it X, Stony Brook, I'm back, signed number 38.
Michael Jordan-esque.
Michael Jordan-esque. A.J. Roberts now joining his fellow linebackers on the sideline. As we still have another medical timeout. George, thanks to the grace that is OBS, that's what we're streaming this off of, simulcasting over to the WUSB station through the power of the internet. I do know how long we've been live for despite the weird start time. Our current length is 2 hours and 23 minutes, and we still have 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Jogging off the field is number 60. Oh, no. Make it 55. Tommy Ng. So all of these offensive linemen playing in different positions than what they're listed on the official depth chart. Tommy Ng is listed as the left guard. Obviously, he might have moved around a little bit on the play. It might not have been the right guard that went down. But Ng will go over to the medical tent. Did jog off under his own power. 2nd down and 8. Stony Brook are going to let Zealous run free again. He'll gain a couple, and referees will mark it as exactly 2, bringing up a 3rd down and 6.
Well, that was a promising play. Looked to be shot right out of a cannon on the handoff and then just stood up, grabbed by the leg it looked like, and brought down. So 3rd down and manageable.
Ball on the 13. 9:30 left in the corner. Zealous has 2 receivers right and 2 left. Sends Benici in motion over to the left side as well. Gives the handoff over to Dempster. He has room to run at the 5-yard line into the end zone, and a flag comes out in the backfield. This one very likely coming back for another holding penalty, and it will. So instead, we will go to 3rd down and 11. Dempster's touchdown erased, and we'll do it again.
And that one stings because really the penalty had no impact on the play.
It was behind.
It was called while maybe 5 to 10 yards back of where the football was. So completely uninvolved, and it gets the play called back. So a swing of 7 points because of that really unnecessary penalty.
So 3rd down and 16. We'll do it from the 23-yard line. This is in Enda Kirby range, but the question is Enda Kirby available? Chris Zealous looking for the snap. 10 seconds on the clock. Gets it. Looking downfield over to his right. Floating it to the far pylon, and it's knocked away. Rhode Island there with great defense. The intended receiver looked like Des Williams. Check that. That was going to be Jace Freeman on the jump ball, so Stony Brook will send out their kicker. George,
looks
can you
like
see
it's Menino. It's 98, I believe.
Yes. Clayton Taylor, number 99, is the punter. 98 is Menino. So he'll be taking this one from 40 yards. Whistle for the referees. Kick. That was good.
Was good.
That was good from Menino, the freshman. Rhode Island will take a timeout to try to ice him a little bit. Now, George, from a mathematical standpoint, and I know that I'm a journalism major in my senior year.
Don't ask me for math.
And you are a journalism major in your junior year.
We know how this one ends.
And combined together, we don't have a lot of math experience.
Oh, boy.
You add 3 on right here. That's 13 points. So then the difference between 13 to 24 is 11. Can't exactly make up 11 in a single score because you can only score 8 in a single score. But then 8 and then the field goal, that's 11.
Right.
So Stony Brook, if they get a touchdown right here, a couple of stops, aren't necessarily putting pressure on themselves to score too many touchdowns this game. Menino, again, this time from 41, nails it again. No good, wide right. I faked myself out. So a Rhode Island timeout will lead to a stop as Menino hit it the first time, but not the second from a considerable distance.
Yeah, that was no chip shot. 41 yards for a freshman backup kicker is not easy. But certainly now you're at the point where it's getting dire for Stony Brook. Trailing by 2 scores, 9 minutes left in the third quarter, and really you haven't shown any life offensively. You've had a fumble called back on a challenge. You've had a touchdown called back on a flag. They're at the point where they're beating themselves, and even if you look back at that last passing play by Zealous, it didn't seem like he looked anywhere else besides Williams down the far sideline, who was in double coverage. So that's the type of mistake where if you're a quarterback that doesn't have great ability to throw the football, that is a play that maybe another quarterback converts.
Yeah. I mean, you do also have to think about the fact, George, that one of these Stony Brook scores came off a fumble from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
At about their 20-yard line. So that's where the Stony Brook touchdown comes from.
You have not manufactured a full drive.
You got stopped at the red zone on the only drive that you did manufacture. That went for a field goal.
And really, that drive was fueled by one big run.
And it was. So what we're talking about right now is a field goal, a potential touchdown left off the board. All right?
A touchdown called back.
A touchdown called back. So you absolutely left points on the board right there. Make it 3 or 7. All right?
Oh, 7, absolutely.
7, absolutely.
Because here's the thing. Roland Dempster put both of his feet in the end zone with the football.
You got stopped in the red zone, all right? But you still get 3 there. You'll take that. You had another 3 disappear because you had a bad snap. All right, so you're talking about another easily 10 points for the Seawolves right here,
and
down by 4.
And if I can interject, that 3 points also got your kicker hurt.
Yep.
Which now may loom large going down the stretch.
All right, so the look that Farrell comes out with at the 23-yard line, 1st and 10 in his own zone, will be under center, pitching it out to the right side for Littleton Jr., cuts it back to the middle, and is wrapped up by Kaler. He'll get the initial part of that tackle, and I believe Farrelly was quickly in there to join his fellow linebacker.
That's an impressive play by whichever linebacker got there first, because Littleton,
Kaler,
with a full head of steam, tried to break left, and Kaler just stood him up, met him in his tracks, and then got assistance from 42 Farrelly.
8:30 to play in the third quarter. 2nd down and 9. Ball now on the 24. This time, Farrell will line up in shotgun. Has 3 receivers to the far side of the field. 1 receiver to the near side. Will take the snap. Dropping back. Looking left, now looking right. He'll scramble this one himself. A.J. Roberts to beat in the zone, and Roberts will make the tackle. A little bit of yardage after contact. And excuse me, it's Shamar Askin on the tackle. So another big 3rd down here. 3rd and short for the Rams. It's 3rd and 2, ball on the 31.
This is the type of play where if you can get a tackle for a loss, if you can meet someone in their tracks and get Rhode Island off the field, you can get the momentum and hopefully get a shorter field than you would if you allow any more yardage.
Stony Brook is lining up to rush 5 right now. It means it's man coverage everywhere else on the field. Farrell takes the snap, looking over, and it's a drop pass by Buchanan. That would have been enough for a 1st down. He was kneeling at the 35-yard line. So now it's 4th and 2 in their own territory, and it looks like the Rhode Island Rams will send out their kicking unit and give this one back over to Marquise Dietz.
And notably, he was all by himself.
A rare mistake from the FCS All-American.
Even if he well, that wasn't the best thrown ball, but even if he comes away with that pass, there is nobody to bring him down.
James Allen on the punt now for Rhode Island. Twirls it around. Dietz is tracking it. This time a better bounce for Allen as it will dribble to the Stony Brook 22-yard line.
Very nice bounce there for the Rams. Probably 10 yards after hitting the ground.
So Stony Brook get another crack at it, still down by 14. Their defense has put up 2 consecutive 3-and-outs. The second one a little bit lucky with Buchanan, a rare drop for him.
And even if you look at the last offensive drive, they moved the football, derailed by a couple penalties. That cannot happen, and I will bet money on it that in maybe an hour or so when we talk to Billy Kosh, that is the biggest thing he emphasizes.
Zealous trips left, one right. Will hand this off. It goes to Dempster. Running up around the left side. Will gain just shy of 3 yards. So we'll call it 2nd down and 8. Ball to the 24-yard line.
And maybe it's the wet turf, but you're seeing Roland Dempster be brought down a lot by one leg, just one guy grabbing at him, because maybe all these guys are running gingerly because of how wet it is out there.
Zealous, 3 receivers right, 2 left. One is Roland Dempster. Claps. Dempster will end up behind him in the backfield. Handoff, fake to Dempster, looking ahead. Benici will make the catch. Goes to about the 32-yard line where the first down would be. Referee marking him just shy of that. So it's another 3rd down and 1 for Billy Kosh.
And you have to think this is prime territory for number 4.
Dempster is obviously on the field right now. Zealous lining up in shotgun. Dempster to his left. He has 2 receivers right, 1 left. Benici over to his right as well. Takes the snap. Handoff. Fake to Dempster. Zealous will run it himself, and he'll get the first down.
Well, that's the value of a guy like Chris Zealous. It's what you see a lot with Lamar Jackson, just those designed runs where he's able to get positive yardage all by himself. It's if he can develop the passing game is the big question.
Zealous, a quartet of receivers to set a screen, but a great blow-up tackle in the backfield for the Rams. That was number 6, Johnson, in on the play. So 2nd down and 9 now, ball on the 36. That screen did nothing for the Seawolves. Zealous clapping for the ball, trying to get Rhode Island off sides. Still plenty of time on the play clock, 20 seconds now. Zealous will change up the call. Dempster still in the backfield. Des Williams out to the left with Cole Benici. R.J. Lamar and Jace Freeman over to the right. 3 seconds on the play clock. Zealous will try to set a block. Actually, excuse me, he carried that one himself. Dempster was setting the block, and they gain another 2 yards.
Yeah, another play just running up the middle, not really able to create any space, and setting up another 3rd and long for a quarterback who has not shown an ability to convert on these 3rd and longs, mostly because of his struggles to throw the ball.
Well, Zealous, he'll either run this one himself or he'll throw it. It's an empty backfield. Trips to the left, 2 to the right. Hard count, claps for it, gets it, drops back, a little bit of pressure. He'll run up the middle and absolutely nowhere to go. Zealous is shut down. 4:25 now on the clock. Stony Brook still trail this by a score of 14. Again, Stony Brook's offense has done slightly more than the Rams this half, but with no points to show for it, it doesn't really matter.
Chris Zealous just now reaching 100 yards through the air.
So Clayton Taylor out as the punter. He'll put this one high into the air, going end over the end to the 25-yard line, where a fair catch is made for the Rams. And they'll start once again from the 25-yard line. Stony Brook's defense looking for a 3rd consecutive 3-and-out.
Yeah, and the 3-and-outs have been nice. You talked about how this defense will be one of the strong points of this team. But at the same time, you need some offense, and the defense has held up their end of the bargain and their end of the deal, but they've gotten no help from the offense. And I mean, I'm going to take a look at the time of possession, but this defense has been out there, it seems, way more than the offense.
At least in the first half. The second half, I think, would favor the Seawolves in time of possession. 3:52 remaining. Question is, do we see Casey Case at any point after Zealous falls a little flat on his opening 2 drives?
Well, the biggest advantage with Case is you're now getting to the point where you're going to need some quick scores, and in theory, Chris Zealous lends himself to these methodical drives with consistent forward progress because of his running ability. But you may not have the time to run 2 or 3 long, extended drives that center around the ground game.
Again, Stony Brook still need 2 touchdowns to tie this game. Like George is saying, you have 18:52 remaining on the clock. You still have 3 timeouts. You have that 2-minute warning that will come in the fourth quarter, but ideally you don't want to be in a 1-drive, 2-minute and 30-second fire drill against this defense that the Rams can put out there. Pena can easily wreck your day.
I'll admit when I'm wrong. Stony Brook is leading the time of possession, and that just shows how non-explosive they've been. I mean, 17 minutes for Rhode Island on offense. They've put up plenty of points.
So the Rams with another crack at it. A trio of receivers on the near sideline, 1 to the far. Buchanan set in motion. He goes to the far sideline as well. Farrell takes the snap, looking downfield over to his left, hits it out to the flat for Littleton Jr., who picks up a big gain of 11 yards somehow, eventually getting in on the tackle. Hard to make out the number from over here, George. I need to get a pair of binoculars. Do you have a pair of binoculars?
I don't.
You seem like you
Somewhere
would.
I do, at home.
Ball out to the 35,
But I
first
think
down
you can,
and 10.
I think you can cough up the pocket change to
I probably could.
to bring some in.
Farrell is under center. He has 3 receivers over to his right. Littleton Jr. in the backfield. Buchanan in motion again. Fake handoff. Flipped over to over to Littleton Jr. in the flat, and somehow he picks up another 11 yards.
Well, he has been impressive in this one. 81 yards on the ground. Add in another 24 through the air, and it just seems like constant yardage. He hasn't gone backwards, hasn't gotten stood up whatsoever. $85 yards, a pair of touchdowns last week.
So first down and 10, ball on the 46. Littleton Jr. will get a handoff, but a flag will quickly shut this play down. Should be a false start on the offense. So we'll back them up to a first down and 15. After 2 big plays from Littleton Jr., that one hurts a little bit if you're Coach Fleming. 2:33 remaining in the third. Again, it's first down and 15. Ball on the 41. Farrell. Farrell in the backfield, throwing this one. Long range for Buchanan. Pass broken up by the Seawolves. And it was your guy, Bryson Parker, there for it.
Parker, a very nice play. That ball a little bit underthrown. If he turns around, maybe could have had an interception, but nonetheless, a very nice play to break that up. Would have been a big hitter had it landed in the arms of a URI receiver. Nonetheless, 2nd and 15.
Like George said, 2nd and 15. Ball still on the 41-yard line. Both Buchanan and Gaines will flank out onto the right side of the field, leaving 1 receiver left and Littleton Jr. in the backfield. The tight end in on the play is Connor Feiner. Farrell will take the snap, gives it over to Littleton Jr., who battles his way through 3 Stony Brook players, still for a minimal gain. It's about 4 yards, not even getting them to the original line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down and 11.
And Miles McGoy and A.J. Roberts both coming in for this play. So 3rd and 15, Billy Kosh is bringing in his big guys.
Wonder if we're going to see any kind of rush coming out from the Seawolves. Obviously, leaving these Rhode Island receivers in man-on-man coverage is a little bit anxiety-inducing, but it's still a good play if you can get pressure on the quarterback. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Gaines is solo right now against Cam Johnson. In the backfield, Farrell takes a snap, looking left. Not pressured just yet, airing this one downfield, and it's going to be well short of its intended mark. Not even sure what he was exactly looking for to the far sideline, as his receiver was 10 yards past where the ball eventually landed. It was Mensah, the intended target.
A lot of contact downfield between the defender and the receiver, but that's one of those where it's an uncatchable pass, probably 5 to 10 yards short of where it needed to be.
So another stop for Stony Brook. Not exactly a 3-and-out, but still they get it done before the quarter ends. The punt will go high, spiraling into the air. Dietz is able to get under this one. He'll catch it cleanly at his own 18-yard line. And let's see, is it going to be Zealous out there still? Is he getting the vote of confidence from his coach? He's in the huddle, in the thick of it as well. So I have a feeling Zealous will still be rocking with the ball.
Yeah, and at some point, if Stony Brook's going to win this game, either Billy Koch is going to have to make a change, which at this point, 16 minutes and 22 seconds to go. I don't know how realistic that is. Or Chris Zealous is going to have to make a big play.
Zealous snaps for the ball, gets it, looks to Des Williams in the flat. Des trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, dives ahead, picks up 2.
I mean, even the passes he's completing are a lot like that.
They're a bunch of checkdowns, really.
The one to Benici that went for big yardage is really it.
2nd down and 8. Ball now on the 20. Zealous gets a low snap, looking to the flat again, has Dempster. Dempster trying to break a tackle, has 5 on the play already. Dempster still going, down the far sideline. Dempster at the 50. Dempster breaking another tackle, but he'll step out of bounds at about the 48-yard line of the Rams territory. Dempster with a big play for the Seawolves to get them going. Again, it just feels like it's a bunch of Dempster making something out of nothing. 36 seconds remain in the first quarter. Kevin, you're a little behind. 3rd quarter. Zealous on the snap, has 2 receivers going to either side. He'll pitch it to Dempster. Dempster along the far sideline again. He'll pick up 5 before he's forced out of bounds. A.J. Pena was there to make the initial stop. It looked like he was joined up by
Got a little more than 5 there.
Hinckley. He did get
7,
more than 5.
8 yards.
Well, it's 2nd down and 5 now, so. Oh, no.
Look at the spot.
Yeah, the spot's a little different. This should be 2nd down and 3. Scoreboard a little wrong. Zealous with an empty backfield. Takes this, looks right, trying to scramble now. Zealous just looking for some room. Gets it to the far side. Zealous to the 35-yard line. He'll pick up a 1st down, and he's elated after that run.
And as much as I've ragged on him today, that was his best play of the game because he got stood up right at the line, bounced to the outside, broke some contact, and just beat a couple defenders to the spot, ran into a wall, and then flipped over trying to hold on to that football, which he did. Strong ball security from Chris Zealous.
All right, so we reached the end of the 3rd quarter. The game still in the same state as it was at the end of the half, George. There's good things and there's bad things about that. One, Stony Brook's not in the lead, so time is not on their side. But the other thing is their defense put up a 3-and-out, and then a little bit of a drive where Littleton Jr. got 2 11-yard plays back-to-back, but then the defense forced them out right after.
Yeah, and we're now looking at 30 minutes without points for the Stony Brook offense. And then you even look back to last week. They went a full 60 without scoring. So you're looking at a small window of the entire season, obviously inside of 2 games. But you're looking at a very boom or bust offense, and even that boom is reliant on opposing mistakes. Points off a special teams fumble, settling for field goals. The offense, unless they can prove something in these final 15, has been very quiet.
So let's see what the Seawolves can do in the final 15. Again, George and I talked a lot about points left on the board. Dempster's touchdown erased by a holding penalty. A botched long snap for a field goal. That's 10 points off the board right there. Additionally, they had another red zone opportunity that would add another 4 points on. Instead, they had to settle for a field goal. So a lot of big swings in this game. Can Stony Brook finally land some big punches in their favor? First down and 10, ball on the 34. Chris Zealous in shotgun, has Dempster there with him. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Jace Freeman will line up behind the line. He'll hand it off, and instead of Dempster, it's once again Ragsdale on the carry, and probably his best carry of the night, George. He'll pick up 6 before going.
Yeah, and, you know, he has played fine. I mean, coming into that play, it was 2 carries for 2 yards.
Ragsdale will get it again, out to the 20-yard line, and then he's forced down. So he'll pick up a first down. Ragsdale now doing a lot and also allowing Dempster to rest.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I've seen is the reluctance to throw the football.
First down and 10,
I'll
ball on the
explain
20.
more.
Zealous hands it off. Ragsdale will get another carry, goes through the B gap off to the left side, goes for 2. Referees will mark him down. Dempster back out onto the field now. Second down and 8, ball on the 18.
Now, the elephant in the room is Roland Dempster having 133 yards on the ground. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like Stony Brook is throwing the football until it's 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, and they have to throw it.
Second down and 8, maybe we'll get a throw right here. Dempster is in the backfield as a running option. Of course, Chris Zealous can carry this himself if he wants to. Zealous on the handoff, will give it to Dempster, battling his way forward. The referees will give him out to the 15-yard line, so it's a pickup of 3. A 3rd down and 5, ball on the 15, George. These are the plays right here that make or break upset potential for Stony Brook.
And this play is going to land on Chris Zealous, whether he's running the ball or throwing the football.
Could give Dietz to a screen. It's a bad snap. Zealous going to try to run forward himself, and he's out to the 5-yard line. Just pile driving his head forward, and somehow no one tackled him. Stony Brook will take it. Dempster will come back over to the sideline. Ragsdale back in, and the Seawolves are in the red zone. First down, ball on the 5, 5 to go.
That is an awfully impressive run from Chris Zealous. His second one on this drive that has really impressed me.
Zealous with Ragsdale. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Will fake the handoff. No, actually give it to Ragsdale. He'll go right up the middle and does get at least 1 positive yard to make this 2nd and 4, 4 to go.
And I think this goes without saying, but this is 4-down territory. Inside the 10-yard line, in the red zone, obviously. Down 14 points, 12 and a half minutes to go. You've got to punch in 7 here.
And again, those missing field goals making a big difference, because if you had some of them, maybe field goal heel doesn't look as bad. 2nd down and 4 on the 4-yard line. Zealous has Dempster there with him. Will hand it off. Dempster trying to go through a crowd. It's just there's no room for him right there. And it's another great tackle by the defensive line.
And it's not that Roland Dempster can't bounce to the outside. He is still, you know, his focus is running people over. But he is still a more than fast enough runner to cut to the outside and, you know, outrun some people.
So 3rd down, 3 to go now in the red zone. Dempster will line up directly behind Zealous. Zealous putting a man in motion, will hand it off, and it's a fake. Zealous takes it to the outside, into the end zone. He'll get his first 6 points as a Seawolf, taking it in himself. And that's a touchdown, a much-needed touchdown.
Well, Chris Zealous really responded. It was crunch time, do or die, you know, potentially job on the line for next week. And that was his best drive so far. With his legs, had a couple nice throws. Roland Dempster helped him out, and Chris Zealous finishes it off.
Not to be lost in the other narratives of the game, George, but the freshman Menino will come in, not for the Parent-Teacher Association extra point. But the other one, the other three,
P-A-T.
the other three-word syllable.
And he knocks it through. Obviously missed the lengthy field goal. But
He made the first one.
he did make the first
He got
one.
iced out. I got to give him that because that's still impressive. Now, George, the problem is Stony Brook still down in this game.
And they need a stop.
They need another stop, and then they need to get another touchdown. And then they ideally need to score more points after that. But I'm just talking about the narrative of this game to keep it going because we're almost 3 hours deep. 11:28 to play in the fourth quarter. This game might end before midnight. It could. It's possible.
We hope.
But I think it's much more likely that we go to quadruple overtime at this point because that just feels like it's in the books. I know my voice is hurting. I don't know how Johnny is doing over there.
Listen to us on your way to work Monday.
Yeah, honestly, we might be on at 8 a.m. Who knows? I mean, we could keep Matt Mankiewicz there a little bit longer. Matt, I hope you're enjoying all of this. I obviously can't hear your voice because of the way that we set up everything, but hopefully you're good. 11:28 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a kickoff for the Seawolves. How long has it been since Stony Brook has kicked off?
Well, since the half, right?
Well, I mean, besides the half. Before
Well,
that,
I think Enda Kirby was the last guy to kick off.
Yeah, before that, it was the touchdown that they scored because that was the last time they scored points. It's crazy to think about Stony Brook went an entire 30 minutes without putting points up onto the board, and they only trailed this game by 7.
And for what it's worth, the rain seems to have stopped.
Does look a little bit nicer outside. It's still probably waterlogged on the turf field itself. It's only so much water a field can absorb. Menino on the kickoff. This one looks like it's going straight down the middle, veers a little bit off to the left. Not exactly like my golf swing. It's actually the opposite. Mine always slices to the right.
It's okay. He's practicing while watching baseball in the dorm room.
Well, I'm swinging my pitching wedge in the dorm room. I don't feel exactly confident enough to bring out my driver. I feel like it's a little longer. It's a little heftier.
Put one through the wall.
That's what I'm hoping I don't do. Back to receive the kickoff was Jamal Mensah for the Rams. And his fair catch will put his team out to the 25-yard line. First down and 10. Farrell under center right now with Littleton Jr. behind him. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield over to his right now. Throws it out to the flat, and that's a big tackle. A broken up pass as well. A.J. Roberts, go off a little bit, son. You deserved it on that play.
That was a mean hit.
Listen, I'm not a football player, so I'll never run into this conundrum. But a 6', 235 A.J. Roberts hitting me at point blank is not something I'd sign up for, even if I got a scholarship out of it.
So Rodney Falk, Sebastian Regis, I believe both off the field. Regis might be in there. Falk off the field.
So Stony Brook still rushing 3 right now as Farrell lines up in shotgun once more, second down and 10. Ball, again, on the 25-yard line. Farrell takes a snap, looking right. He'll air this one downfield. A little bit of separation, and a catch is made. There might be a little bit of case of a offensive pass interference as Quartang did extend his arm to get that separation, but nonetheless, a great throw by Farrell, and that's a big momentum shift in this game.
And a big play to get your hands under the ball. It's one of those full extension where sometimes the ball drops in between, but he got the hands under it.
The 42-yard line is where Rhode Island will restart this drive. Farrell has 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. He'll hand it off to Littleton. Littleton going out to the 30-yard line. Littleton still with a little bit more in him and will go all the way to the Stony Brook 26-yard line. Joseph Garcia does get in there on the tackle.
Those last 2 plays are tough ones after the big hit by Roberts to get punched back like that is tough for Stony Brook.
Farrell takes another snap, faking the handoff. He's looking to air this one out. Quickly pressured in the backfield. We do have a flag. This should go for a offensive holding, backing them up to a first down and 15.
Impressive job by Sebastian Regis getting into the backfield and then really on a swivel, getting back to the quarterback, but obviously the hold made his job a little tougher.
Actually, not a holding, George. This will be a 10-yard penalty. We missed what that was. So the ball all the way back to the 36-yard line. We have, should be a first down and 20, and it is. So Farrell, with a big task in front of him, has two of his best receivers over on the far side of the field. He has Kwarteng, who just made that big catch to the left. Takes the snap, looking to scramble this one himself, going to the line of scrimmage. Another flag in the backfield. This should be another penalty against Rhode Island, as Billy Kosh was pointing in that direction and then hit the Rams with a little wave. So what was a first down and 10 from prime real estate, George, might go all the way back to a first down and 25.
And we still don't know what that initial 10-yard flag was. Again, Stat Broadcast a little bit behind. We'll cut him some slack. It's late.
And it's going to be another 10 yards, George. So these aren't holdings right here. These might be, if they can't be personal fouls, that would be 15 total. We're not exactly getting the referee over the PA like in the NFL. But we'll roll with it. First down and 30. Ball on the 46-yard line. Farrell with trips over to his right. He's looking downfield, obviously. Instead, it's going to be a check down into the flat for Littleton Jr. Out to the 40-yard line. A little bit more juice left in the run all the way to the Stony Brook 47-yard line.
That's one of those plays. A nice job. You're not going to get all 30 back in one shot.
37-yard line, excuse me.
A good play just to get some positive yardage and make the next two downs a little bit more manageable.
So second down and 21, a chunk of 9 yards right there. A chant of defense erupting from the crowd. They know how important this stop would be. 8:40 left in the fourth quarter. Farrell in shotgun, takes the snap, looking left, has gains into the flat. He's shoved out of bounds. Not really enough of a gain to make this a manageable third down conversion.
And this would be a huge place for Stony Brook
Third down and 17.
To get their offense back on the field.
Third down and 17, ball on the 33-yard line. Stony Brook trail this game by 7 points still.
So both penalties were holding, according to Stat Broadcast.
Really? Oh, holding, yes, is a different penalty than false. I don't know what I was thinking. Regardless, first game of the season, we'll get into the swing of things.
2.5 hours late.
Third down and 17, ball on the 33. This pass is going to be over the middle and caught for a first down. Rhode Island somehow to get it done with Buchanan.
And that's a backbreaker.
A pickup of 18 yards has this crowd stunned at Kenneth P. Laval Stadium. Steve will somehow need to force a turnover right here. This will be a fake play. Farrell will carry it himself out to the 10, all the way to the 6-yard line. And Rhode Island somehow coming back from a third down and 30 to get the ball to the 7-yard line of the Seawolves.
And that big play just completely left alone. It was Buchanan all by himself. DeMario Crawford was the one chasing him, but really never had a shot.
Second down and 1, ball on the 7-yard line. This handoff will be faked to Littleton Jr. It's kept by Farrell, and he'll be tackled in the backfield for a loss. DeMario Crawford making up on the play right there. Third down and 4, a critical play for the rest of this game. 6:33 and counting left in regulation.
And I know the first step is to get them to 4th down. But if you can, Stony Brook would love to set Rhode Island back a little bit, make it a bit tougher of a field goal.
Farrell, for some reason with Buchanan in the backfield. He'll mosey off to the left. Farrell looking forward, looking to Buchanan. It's broken up. Hit the floor. Farrelly was there in coverage, and Stony Brook at a minimum will force out the kicking unit for the Rams.
And it looked like that pass actually might have hit the pylon and knocked it down. Certainly something I haven't seen in a little bit. So the pylon giving Stony Brook a little bit of a lifeline.
Garth White with a manageable field goal right here. From the 16-yard line, make it 17-yard line. It's 27 in total. Kick is up and blocked. Stony Brook blocked the field goal. Racing forward is Camara, and he'll pick it up. Camara gets it at his own 35-yard line, and the Seawolves just flipped the script entirely. 5:57 left in the 4th quarter. They're down by 7 points.
And you talk about special teams, Kevin, dictating this game.
An injured Seawolf on the back of the play as well. So as everyone else celebrates, the athletic trainers go out to attend to the fallen player. Can't see his number right there. Billy Kosh also having a conversation with the referees. I'm interested on what that is. And it looks like Aiden Kaler is down right now. So obviously Billy Kosh would be concerned about one of his star linebackers.
Kaler, the way you can tell is he wears that
neck whiplash
brace
protection. Kaler is up under his own power. So a slight hobble on the right foot over to the sideline.
Now he's jogging.
Now he's jogging.
So you talk about special teams and their ability to change a game. Stony Brook's first touchdown coming off a fumbled kickoff by Rhode Island. Rhode Island then getting points because Stony Brook could not convert on the long snap for a field goal. Now Stony Brook blocking a crucial, underline, bold the word crucial, on that blocked field goal.
Chris Zealous in shotgun right now, telling Dietz to go over to the left side of the field. Zealous now looking for the snap, 13 on the play clock, takes it, hands it off, Dempster up the middle, Dempster with a little bit of room, picks up 9 on the carry.
And that's a perfect way to start a drive, set up 2nd down and manageable. 2nd down and short even.
2nd down and 1 to be specific. Ball on the 44. Zealous again in shotgun. Handoff is given to Dempster. He steps around the outside. Dempster at the 50. Dempster still going. 45, make it 40 before he's finally brought down. Rolling, Dempster is going.
He might have just shook off like 4 different defenders.
We have an injured Ram in the backfield. It's Moses Moose, the redshirt sophomore, 6'3", from Rhode Island. So he's a native guy playing for his native team.
And if nothing else, it gives both teams a little bit of a breather.
Stony Brook has the wind at their back right now. It will be a 1st down and 10 coming up. Ball on the 38-yard line. Zealous making sure to stay loose. He's thrown a couple of balls right now. And again, we were alerted of a possibility, George, that this could be a one-half game for both Casey Case and Chris Zealous. It's been anything but. Chris Zealous still playing, 5:24 left in the final quarter of the game. Looking to rally for an upset against number 8, number 9, Rhode Island, again, depending on what poll you look at.
Zealous, 92 yards on the ground, 131 through the air.
5:11 remaining. Zealous in the backfield. Has Dempster there. 2 receivers to his left. Again, another low snap, but he gets it and gives it to Dempster. Dempster Gets 5 yards on the play before he's finally brought down, and we're under 5 minutes to play in regulation.
And it really is incredible what he's able to do. I mean, he gets hit at the line or right after practically every play and manages to go forward every play.
Second down, ball on the 35. Handoff, fakes to Dempster. Zealous still has it, looking to shake loose from a tackle, but cannot. He is brought down for a little bit of a loss.
And one of the few poor decisions on the run for Chris Zealous today. If he had stayed left, he might have been able to shake that tackle, try to spin move around the defender, and just got brought down.
Third down and 7, ball back to the 36 now. Ragsdale is into the play instead of Dempster.
You got to think they're passing here. Benici on the near sideline.
3 receivers to the left. Zealous claps for the ball, gets it, fakes the handoff, looks over the middle and does have a completion to Dietz. It's going to make it close. Referee's going to
he's going to
short
be a
them
yard short.
By a yard, George. Lot of different weapons for 4th down and 1 here. You have Zealous, obviously, who can run it himself. You can give it off to Dempster. You can even look to Dietz, maybe in the flat, to try to go for a screen. That last option, probably the most anxiety-inducing for any Stony Brook fan. Those first 2 options seem pretty damn good, but they're obviously the most predictable.
The line to gains the 29. They were ball spotted maybe 2 inches beyond the 30.
Stony Brook look like they're going to go for it. 2 seconds on the play clock, and Billy Kosh was sure to make sure that their team didn't take a delay of game right there.
And this is one of those plays, I think 4th and 1, you live and die with Roland Dempster.
I wouldn't hate it. I really wouldn't.
Chris Zealous, obviously, the running ability is strong, but Roland Dempster was an All-American last year. Roland Dempster is the star of this team. Offensively, he is their identity. And crunch time, 4th and 1, 3:16 on the clock, needing a touchdown. You go with your star.
Again, George just gave you the stakes. I'll add on to it a little bit more. This is Billy Kosh in his 2nd year trying to build up a Stony Brook program from its ashes, looking for their biggest win yet. A top 10 opponent. Takes the handoff. Dempster given the ball. Dempster fumbles it. The ball is loose. Rhode Island jump on top of it, and it looks like they'll take it away. At the very least, they'll be short of it, and the ball is given over to Rhode Island. Disaster strikes for the Seawolves as they'll give it over to Rhode Island on the 30-yard line. 3:10 to play in the game. It is not done by any stretch of the imagination, but it will take a Herculean effort at this point.
Yeah, and 2 fumbles now for Roland Dempster today. Maybe you can chalk some of it up to the weather, but I don't know that we've seen we even saw him fumble twice all season last year.
Again, a big difference in this game, George, is a pick 6 for Rhode Island,
off a dropped pass,
as well as those 2 forced fumbles. Can Stony Brook's defense come away with a takeaway of their own? 3:10 to play. Rhode Island on their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Make that Farrell. Will take the handoff, give it to Littleton Jr. Runs around to the left for 2 yards.
Aiden Kaler back on the field.
So Stony Brook will take their 2nd timeout of the half, have 1 more remaining, as well as that 2-minute warning. But by taking that timeout right here, George, they're putting a lot of their eggs in the basket of getting this stop. It will be 2nd down 9, ball on the 31. Billy Kosh also having a conversation with his offensive coordinator, Anthony Davis, on the sideline. Obviously can't exactly be happy about how that last drive went down. How much you can blame on Anthony Davis for the fumble, I'm not exactly sure, but the play call at least. 2nd down and 8, ball on the 32. 3:05 to play in the game. Farrell in the backfield, looking to hand it off. Gives it to Littleton Jr. with a bit of a convoy. He's up the middle. Call it 4 yards. Clock is now down to 3 minutes. And Stony Brook will take another timeout, their final.
So 3rd down and 4. Basically game on the line.
Hard to do the math in my head right now, but I would imagine that the game is on the line right here.
Now, let's play hypothetical. If Jim Fleming does not get this, say it's 4th and 2, does he go for it?
I would not go for it. I would trust my defense. That's at least what I would call. But instead, I will make this call. 3rd down and 4, ball on the 36. 3 minutes to play in regulation. Farrell is in the backfield right now. 2 receivers to his left and right. Littleton Jr. joins him off to his left-hand side. Stony Brook looking like they're going to rush 5 right now. Farrell dropping back in the pocket, looking downfield. He'll heave one forward, and as a man wide open, the coverage blown by Forelli, and the reception made by Quartang. He's out of bounds all the way at the Stony Brook 19-yard line. That should do it for this game. Rhode Island looking like they're going to come to the den and walk away undefeated 2-0. Stony Brook might fall to 0-2. Obviously, 2 tough customers in their first 2 games. Myself, George, we did predict them to lose this game. They can still easily recover for this, though, but I doubt Billy Kosh is going to want to hear that at all. 1st down and 10, ball on the 15-yard line. Farrell taking the handoff, gives it to Littleton Jr. Rushing towards the outside, Jr. at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone for a touchdown. That should ice it out for the Rams. As 2:09 remain, they're about to go up by 14 points. Eerily similar, George, to how that game against Villanova ended.
Yeah.
More of a whimper than a roar.
Well, Stony Brook made this one close in the 4th quarter. That Villanova game
Fell apart by the 3rd.
I'm not even sure that they scored in the 2nd half. No, check that. They scored on the first drive of the 2nd half, I believe. And then nothing after that.
So again, marginal improvements against a top 10 team in the country for Stony Brook, but they will not walk away with a win. And you were talking about heaving the ball in a late game scenario. Maybe we do see Casey Case.
Yeah, well, this is one of those where you need, if you're going to get it, you need a 30-second touchdown, an onside kick, and another
quick touchdown.
Yeah.
With no timeout and just the 2-minute warning to play with. Stony Brook currently the only team with any personnel out on the field. Still waiting for Rhode Island to line up. Stream is currently at 3 hours and 15 minutes deep. Rhode Island will come out now. Garth White ready to kick off. Freeman and Crawford back to return. White with the lineup. Again, 2:09 remaining. I have a feeling they'll let this one sail out for a touchback. White flicks it up into the air, and no fair catch made. Instead, Freeman will try to return it. Goes all the way out to the 25-yard line and falls down. So 2:05 left in regulation. Stony Brook would need a miracle to make this one competitive at this point.
Casey Case still on the sideline, so Kosh rolling with Chris Zealous.
Zealous with some, I wouldn't exactly call it crucial late game scenarios. Zealous going out there. He will have an empty backfield, 5 receivers as his options. 3 are lining up to the right, to the left. Zealous clapping for it, gets it. Looking downfield, he has an out route completed and then dropped by Jace Freeman. His first target of the game will be bobbled and ends up going out of bounds. 2 minutes left. We hit the 2-minute warning.
Now, dropped pass, yes. But Jace Freeman had to cut back on his route by 5 yards and go towards the sideline and pick it off the turf. So certainly not a great throw there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not worth overanalyzing
No.
at this point in the game. But for Jace Freeman's first target to be that throw, it has to suck a little bit for him.
Again, I mean, when you're really talking about how you should walk away from this game, George, special teams were fantastic. Even with Enda Kirby going down, I mean, yes, you do have that blemish on that one field goal snap, but a blocked field goal back the other way and a forced fumble on a kick return.
And frankly, the defense
and
played very well.
That's where I was going next.
Now, the one concern for me is the secondary really does not look strong.
Well, the secondary, again, in all fairness, they were playing against the best possible wide receiver they could play in FCS football. The only thing is they weren't playing against the best quarterback in the CAA. They still have Monmouth on their schedule, and that's going to be a tough one to play. But I will say, George, in the second half, to my recollection, they really only let up one big receiving play. And that was, of course,
the most important one.
The third down. Well, actually, the 2, I should say. The one that converted on third down to essentially ice the game, and the other to convert on third down to Buchanan before the blocked kick.
Yeah, the 3rd and 17, where he got 18.
So you have 2 plays like that, but in all fairness, if you're asking your defense to be picture perfect against a top 10 offense, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And the bigger problem is that the offense gave up 7 points on a pick 6 and weren't able to put up much of their own.
Yeah, and offensively, it's been very one-dimensional.
And additionally, you throw in 2 Roland Dempster fumbles, one on a fourth down conversion, that could have set them up to potentially win this game. As Zealous will go down in the backfield, he is sacked.
And if you want to find, maybe not the best time for this, if you want to find another beacon of hope, the offensive line really hadn't let up until that play.
Zealous still trying to keep this one rolling with 1:38 left in the quarter. Throws it to the outside and another drop pass, this time by Ragsdale. So ultimately, when you look at this game, it's going to be a lot of talk about the offense. A lot of talk about what they could have done. A lot of talk about what they definitely didn't do. I think we're going to get a timeout from Rhode Island.
They're just trying to make sure this game ends after the midnight hour. Which reminds me, this time tomorrow we'll be wrapping up our show.
Obviously, tune in to WUSB 90.1 FM from 10 o'clock to 12 tomorrow. That is the sports section hosted by Matt Mankiewicz. Obviously, myself, Kevin Broderick, and George Caratzas will be there as well. It is currently 11:51 p.m. We have been live for almost 3.5 hours, and a game that was supposed to start at 6. So Clayton Taylor will be punting this one away. The snap is high. Taylor pulls it down. It's low and bounces at the 50, a little bit further for Stony Brook, rolling to the 36-yard line before it is touched up. 1:20 remain. Rhode Island will come out onto the field for victory formation. We have a flag on the play as well, but that shouldn't significantly matter.
Well, at the very least, we get to listen to the Beatles.
Thank you, George. 1:20 left in the fourth quarter. Current score is 31-17 in favor of Rhode Island. Not too long ago, Stony Brook were in a 7-point striking distance with the ball on the Rhode Island 30.
And a 4th and 1.
And a 4th and 1. Didn't go their way. So now the Stony Brook defense will trot out onto the field one last time this game. Again, a very, very good second half for this Stony Brook defense. I mean, you talk about giving up receptions. You got to give up receptions in some games, George. But at the end of the day, they only gave up 7 points in the entire second half.
Yeah, and really those 7 points are comprised of 2 big plays. The reception by, it was Buchanan, right? And then the run to actually punch it in the end zone.
I believe that reception
Littleton.
was Connor Feiner, the tight end. Built more like a wide receiver, if you ask me. 6'2", 215 pounds, not exactly tight end status. Kevin Schaefer, on the other hand, for Rhode Island, 6
Then there were 2 big passes because Buchanan had one that was the busted coverage cutting across the middle, where Crawford really was 10 yards behind him.
Regardless, a couple of big plays
Yeah.
for Rhode Island as they take the victory formation. But at the end of the day, you're talking about scoring 7-7 in the second half. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
7-7 in the second half. So the big difference is the fact that Stony Brook's offense dried up in the second quarter, and their defense, again, the second quarter is the biggest blemish for this team. Their defense didn't do much. The offense didn't do much. But at the end of the day, Rhode Island is a very good team and continue undefeated for a reason.
Yeah, if Stony Brook plays like this against a lot of the rest of their schedule, assuming they clean up the missed long snap, the fumbles from Roland Dempster, which you don't expect to become a regular occurrence, I think they will be in a good spot. This defense showed me a lot, maybe not in the takeaway department or the sack department, but you're going up against a very good Rhode Island offense, so it's tough to do those things. And the offense, I mean, the run game was very impressive. You talk about what Roland Dempster did, aside from the 2 fumbles, 28 carries, 6 yards a carry, 167 yards. And Chris Zealous, if you can get a quarterback to run for 90 yards a game, that's pretty good. It's just that you'd like to get a little more than 137 through the air is all. So, all in all, good things to take out of this game. Also some things that Billy Kosh, I'm sure, is going to stress improvement in those areas. But this, obviously, an FBS team and then number 8, 9 at the FCS level, not the easiest way to open your schedule. And to even hold them to a point where they were 1 play away from tying this game, I think is a pretty solid start.
And that's how we'll wrap it up here on WSB 90.1 FM as well as the YouTube page. Thank you, everyone, for listening wherever you are. 31-17 is your final score. Stony Brook falling in their FCS home opener. They'll be back against the Fordham Rams on September 13th. That's a 3:30 start, 3:15 on WSB. We'll get a little bit more polish for that broadcast and hopefully no rain delay. So until then, on behalf of George Caratzas and myself, Kevin Broderick, and Matt Mankiewicz in the studio, have a great night, stay safe, and try to stay dry. 31-17 final score. Dude, we